Shenyim pasuinti Abrame jayim pano Awoche riba Na misubari wasisa.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Shenyim pasuinti Abrama misumejayim pano Awoche kakrabina wabana misubari wasisa. Sum kontro yeso Atme munti Oshek mi anameja Nameja Mi asumje Naeja Minya Sumje Mr. Paibo Minya Mutter Sosora Mutter Messia Wasende Nekoma Mewa Mezin Kuku Hey Kuku Masemia Wasen Misuya Wusum
27 minutes past the hour of 6. Joe Beecham, he calls this one Micaiah. Micaiah Namijai. What a beautiful gift our memory is. So the many things and emotions we go through, but the memory of his faithfulness, the memory of his track record of never failing is what spurs us on, jolts us from the mirage of wandering around and focuses on the reality of his grace. So your memory is a very precious gift. You have two very important gifts that your mind uses: your imagination to pre-play what you want to do, and your memory to replay the great things that have happened in the past. So if you read Timothy, it talks about remember. It's very important to remember the things you've been through, the things you've done. David said, the God who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the bear will also lead me to smite this Philistine. Which means your memory is very powerful, even in encouraging yourself in your battles of today. So what have you achieved? What have you conquered? What have you defeated? What's your track record? If you can remember well, it will give you the momentum to go forward to do more. So don't just forget the good things that have happened. Men live by getting and forgetting. Don't be like that. Remember the great things he's done and let that spur you on to the future that awaits you. Fantastic words inspired by Joe Beecham, bringing time to 6:28 on a Citi Breakfast Show. It's Monday the 17th of March 2025. Starting off with the newspaper review brought to you by Fidelity Bank. From the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on your journey, starting a career, building a family, growing a business, or planning your future, we are here for your journey. Trust in us, trust in Fidelity as we partner you every step of the way. Together we turn your dreams into reality. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And if you haven't heard of the incredible benefits of the Excellium from Total Energies, let's talk about that. It's a premium fuel with an amazing 3-in-1 power that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. It has anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives that lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption and reduces CO2 emissions. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality. And if you're looking for a best of flavor in every sip, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Also proud to be associated with the newspaper review segment. The cocktail, the cola, the orange, the tangy, and of course the grapefruit. Call 0550-032231. Piva Beverages, a taste you will love.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-32231. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go, the go. Go me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let's go. My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live for you. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
So it's 6:35 and it's Monday the 17th of the month. Don't forget, we're still in our Heritage Month. We're in the middle of the month. So we still have some very important things to do, culminating in the Back to Your Village Food Festival. That's on the 29th and 30th of this month. So it's last Saturday and Sunday of March. And we have divided the country into many zones: the northern, the central, the western, and the southern zones. So this time we have 4 zones: northern, central, western, and southern. Celebrating food, culture, connections, and making great memories last a lifetime. At the AMA Assembly Forecourt from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on 2 days. Now, if you can pass through with your family to give them a taste of Ghana. So we have snacks, we have drinks, we have breakfast, we have lunch, we have supper. You can combine all on the 2 days. We'll tell you more about that as the week progresses. Also on air, some very interesting histories coming your way from 9:30 every morning. But let's get into the newspaper review segment. Good morning to Godfred.
Good morning, Bernard. It's good to be back.
And good morning to Caleb.
Good morning, Bernard.
Gentlemen, how are you doing?
We're well.
Very
We're well.
Very good.
Bernard, the Galamsey, how's it going? I've been away.
The Galamsey.
What has changed?
I don't know.
Nothing has changed.
They have to work.
I should stay tired.
No, we will feature Galamsey shortly because the mining anti-Galamsey media coalition went to meet the Minister of Mining to remind him of his responsibilities. And he said he will work. So they said he should make sure he works because the honeymoon is soon coming to an end.
Why should there be honey for Galamsey?
I don't know.
Why should there be honey?
I don't know.
Why should there be honey?
So you will see every 2 days some stories. Some people have been arrested. We want something more substantive.
Yes.
So
I read a story over the weekend. I could not believe my eyes, Bernard.
that's what.
That 60 excavators moved at a time into a forest.
60.
And I was like, excavator is not like Tico.
It's Charlie.
So how did the security people saw 60
excavators
moving? Even the journalists had time to count.
Meanwhile, they'll stop you at Medina, ask you where's your driver's license.
Where's your driver's license? They saw 60.
They didn't ask them where
they didn't ask where 60 excavators were
ask
going.
Them, where's your mining permit? What are you going to do with 60 excavators?
60.
Maybe they took it at night, or maybe they dropped it by drones.
Anyway, let me take you to the front page. Which doesn't mean we have forgotten that yesterday people lost to.
Which people?
Which people? Lusapu.
Oh, nonsense.
Lusapu.
Oh, look at you.
Anyway,
how does Massage?
Let me find Lusapu on the back page and start from there.
If you don't start behaving, your cough start this morning.
Anyway, Bernard, front page of the Daily Guide. Oforiata sues OSP over fugitive tag. 56 illegal miners arrested in Western Region. Ashanti NDC macho men Spitfire. So good news for Samuel Oku on a personal level. He's been appointed SME Global Vice President for Africa. I'll give you details. Mahama swears in Yohuno. Was that the pronunciation of the name?
He said one woman husband.
Yohuno. As new IGP. He's here wearing brown.
Yeah, man.
Yohuno.
Okay, Chronicles says security forces swoop on 3 foreign illegal miners. Portions of the forest that has been destroyed by illegal miners at Bosome-Freho in the Ashanti region is here. Impounded excavators parked in front of the Bosome-Freho District Assembly. Photograph of that is here as well. Samia Uku's story is here as well. Getting the SME Global for Africa Vice President post. And small-scale miners hail Gold Board vow to fight for fair and competitive pricing of gold.
Front page of the Herald newspaper, Bernard. Atachia goes explosive at IGP Dan Paris legacy. Insists his evil dossier will shock nation. The fourth estate report on Mensia Paris' illegal mining denied. Martin Eyisi, political dribbler, still surviving at Minerals Commission.
Herald. The Ghanaian publisher Mahama hints at national airline. Stories on page 2. UG suspends lecturer over sexual misconduct is the same story that came up last week. Minority invites VIP to join debate on the budget. And CDM slums termination of public and civil servants appointment. Rain-fed agriculture, bane of Ghana's underdevelopment. Dr. George Doma Papa is speaking. Samir Oko is here as well.
Front page of the News Center this morning says, how was 16 billion Ghana Citi tax refund abused? Further and better particulars needed from Finance Minister. There are new IGPs on the front page of the paper.
Yeah.
The outgone IGP, Dr. Dampare, is also on the front page. He says he's grateful to Mahama and others. Right. Electricity subsidies vital for competitiveness of manufacturing sector, says Dr. Brahim.
So the Ghanaian Times, I will work with utmost seriousness. New IGP assures. GJA demands full-scale investigation into attack on 3 journalists covering illegal mining. OTRCC adopts non-partisan strategy to foster development, and Ghana Post to integrate 24-hour economy into operations.
Finally, from me, Bernard, the front page of the BNFT, Bust launches investigation into delayed $23 million depot upgrade, interdicts one for poor oversight. Citrus industry faces liquidity crisis. Farmers struggle with payment delays. Stakeholders call for urgent financial intervention to prevent industry collapse.
All right, let me take you online to some of our stories that you have not brought us so far. If you go to citynewsroom.com, Oferiatta will be declared wanted again if he misses 2nd June deadline. OSP is warning. T-bill yields drop further as government records slight oversubscription. Now, Guzitano says government to amend PPA Act to promote local manufacturing and 24-hour economy. Okay. Meanwhile, Bureau of Public Safety to Yohuno. Public services need more than popularity. So this is in relation to the work of IGP. Fire gas Laboni Senior High School Girls Dormitory. And then Aboso Kind spare parts dealers deny price hike linked to fare increases. And then scrap COVID-19 levy as promised. Ahiagba challenges government. Channel 1 News is leading with Ken Oferiatta defending his actions. OSP defending his actions against Ken Oferiatta and reaffirms corruption probe. Also, floods wreak havoc in Bimbilla, displaced residents. There's a special feature on Fort Amsterdam, a forgotten relic of Ghana's slave trade era. And then Senor Host is writing, he says, Gold Board must use its skill and influence to make smuggling senseless. That's an article he published a couple of days ago. And then Saboba Chiefs residents call for peaceful coexistence among neighboring ethnic groups. My joy online this morning, lots on MPP. So apart from the Ken Oferiatta story, hunger and anger defeated MPP as Otunfo's warning was unheeded. Okay. So Chairman Sabonsu is saying. Now he also says something quite interesting. He says if elections were in August, Baumia would have polled about 30%. Yeah. This is Chairman Sabonsu. A lot of things. He also says maybe if I were around, things would have been different. So he's really talking.
He's making a push.
The big push.
He's making a big push.
Okay, so 3 headlines from one interview. Galam say we need to reclaim our land. State of emergency needed. Dr. Kenashigbe is reaffirming. And then I'm going to take you around the world. Trump moves to close down VOA. And we are told almost everybody at VOA has been asked to go on leave. Charlie, so he's issued an executive order to close down the Voice of America. And let me take you to Graphic Online. A couple of stories quickly for you. Fire ravages Laboni Girls SHS or SHS Girls Dorm. Agri Memorial students sleeping in hallways. Call for urgent infrastructure. So a number of education stories making the rounds. Lots of speech days over the weekend. In Infantiman Girls, in St. Augustine's. Last week was at Disadel College as well. Quite a number of schools celebrating or commemorating speech days. Let's get into the details, gentlemen.
Okay, I'll start with illegal mining.
Okay, let's go there.
So, security forces swoop on 3 foreign illegal miners. This is from the Western region, Ashanti region. A well-coordinated operation carried out by security personnel in the Ashanti region has led to the arrest of 3 foreigners who were engaged in illegal mining in the Bosome Freho district in the Ashanti region. The operation also led to the confiscation of 6 excavators which were being used by these environmental workers, now made up of police, immigration service, EPA, forestry commission, national security. The operations were carried out at Bonka Forest, Esiwa Forest and Achiase River. The 3 foreign nationals arrested come from India, Burkina Faso, and China, respectively. Now, prior to this operation, the team had combed some districts in the region, notably Amansia Central, but they could not arrest anyone following a suspected leak of information to the illegal miners by the elements within the task force. Addressing the media at Isiwa, the district capital of Bosome-Frehon, the acting Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator, Captain John Jabari, retired, reaffirmed the government's resolve to nip Galamsey in the bud. Captain Jabari acknowledged the devastating effects of illegal mining on local communities, road networks, and water bodies in the Ashanti region. Now, if you go to the western region, from Takwa, small-scale miners are hailing the gold board.
Okay.
Yeah, story by Stephen Odoilabi says the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners and a member of the Gold Board Technical Committee, Godwin Nicholson Ama, has assured members of the association that his outfit would fight for the fair pricing of gold when the Gold Board is finally set up. Now, the association is fully represented on the Technical Committee of the Gold Board and will ensure that the pricing of gold is fair, competitive, and at a commercial rate that aligns with the stringent London Bullion Market Association certification.
Let me give you two quick Galamsey stories.
Okay.
If you go to Citi newsroom, Galamsey threatens bee populations, honey production. KNUST expert warns. The story from Bright Yeboah and Kumasi. He says health experts in the veterinary sector at KNUST are raising alarm over the devastating effects of illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, on bee populations. In an interview with Channel 1 News during the launch of the Bee Health Club in KNUST on March 15, Dr. William Tassieme, head of School of Veterinary Services, said the illegal mining, particularly deforestation, poses a serious threat to bee populations by destroying their natural habitats and reducing available forage. And then he stated that contaminated water from Galamsey site poses a significant threat to the quality of honey production. We are cutting down trees and destroying our forests, which poses a significant challenge to the survival of bees. They need space, flowers, trees, and a conducive environment to reproduce their nature. Still on Galamsey, convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Dr. Kenna Shigbe, has reiterated the urgent need to reclaim Ghana's lands and forest reserves from illegal miners. In an interview on Joy News Probe on Sunday, he called for state of emergency to combat the crisis effectively. He noted that politically exposed individuals involved in illegal mining must be dealt with decisively.
Two stories also from my end. The Daily Guide reports of 66 illegal miners arrested in the western region. This is at Kedadrin in the Takwa Nsuai municipality of the western region. And the Herald's editorial this morning says the dangerous ignorance of illegal mining in Konongo, Odumase. The IGP incoming also has quite a few headlines attributed to him. Caleb has one from the Ghanaian Times.
Yes, he says he will work very seriously. He will take his job very seriously. And the editorial here says, welcome IGP Tete Yohono. So on page 12 of the Chronicle this morning, the IGP has been speaking. He's photographed with the president and the vice, where he says, I will work with utmost seriousness. New IGP assures Julius Yaupetichi writes that the newly sworn in Inspector General of Police, IGP Christian Tete Yohono, has assured respect for traditions and culture of the Ghana Police Service as he takes office as new police chief. In his acceptance speech at the swearing in on Friday, IGP Yohono said he was dedicated to fostering a service that was grounded in professionalism, transparency, accountability, and fairness, as well as respect for seniority within the chain of command. The IGP said he would approach his responsibility with the utmost seriousness, fully recognizing the weight of expectations accompanying the role. Quote, in alignment with the transformation and modernization of the service, I pledge to uphold the values, traditions, and culture of the Ghana Police Service in accordance with the resetting agenda of the president.
So there's a lot on IGP Dampari. For example,
Yes,
Christianin has been speaking. He says Dampari's leadership reduced crime and brought discipline. This is a story on Channel 1 News by Patricia Boache. Says the director of Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Professor Kwesi Enin, has praised former IGP George Ekufu Dampari for his dedication and transformative changes he introduced at the Ghana Police Service. According to the security analyst, Dr. Dampari's leadership significantly contributed to reduction in crime nationwide, and his human relations or humane approach to policing distinguished him from his predecessors.
And Dr. Dampari himself has expressed gratitude to Ghanaians and all stakeholders This in a statement signed by Nana Wasei Efrifa, his executive assistant. He acknowledged the overwhelming outpouring of love and encouragement he had received. Go to the Herald, however, on page 3, President John Mahama's decision to replace Dr. George Akuffo Dampare has sparked mixed reactions, with various prominent individuals responding. However, the most fiery and surprising of all is lawyer Samuel Atachia, a former minister for Works and Housing, who called him evil, who Mr. Pointer, then President Akufo-Addo, was romancing while in office. And these are all quotes. Quotes, wow. If you know the dossier on Dampare, which was placed on the table of Akufo-Addo, you will be shocked at why he was romancing such evil, alleges the former MP.
Let's go to OSP now. Oforiatta will be declared wanted if he misses June 2 deadline. OSP is warning. Citi Newsroom is reporting that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has warned that former Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta will be relisted as a wanted person if he fails to appear for questioning on June the 2nd. In a statement acknowledging a lawsuit filed by Mr. Oforiatta challenging the OSP's earlier declaration that he was a fugitive from justice, the OSP clarified that it removed his name from its wanted list in good faith after receiving a request from him. The OSP then went on to say that Oforiatta is mandatorily requested to appear in person before the OSP on June the 2nd, and warned that failure to do so would result in relisting of a wanted person and being considered a fugitive from justice.
Right, but there's a worrying editorial that Chronicle has. Destruction of railway lines and highway tension pylons must be stopped.
Why?
And the Ghana Railway Authority has uncovered several vandalism and encroachment upon the 97-kilometer, guess where, Tema Mpakadan railway line.
Seriously?
Threatening the soon-to-be-launched shuttle service. Now, inspection teams found stolen boats and nuts, buffer stops, and this print didn't come well. Okay, it indicated that more than 15 communities around Ejiso in the Ashanti region are facing widespread blackout after 8 electricity pylons collapsed due to stolen boats and nuts. Now, businesses and residents are suffering, and the ECG is working to restore power, though no timeline has been set. Both incidents highlight the dangers of infrastructure vandalism and the urgent need for stricter security measures. These two incidents are both shocking and deeply troubling. These criminal activities not only pose a serious risk to public safety, but also undermine the nation's infrastructure development and economic progress. So pylons in the Ashanti region and on the Tema Mpakadan railway line, they are stealing.
All right, let's come back to
Let me take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic. Bernard, inferior cement on the market. This is coming from the Minister of Trade, Business and Industry. Some recently established cement manufacturers are substituting limestone, a key raw material in cement production, with cheaper and inferior alternatives. Insiders have revealed in separate interviews with the Daily Graphic. Industry players and regulatory officials revealed that certain manufacturers, some of whom have been caught in the act, are replacing limestone with quarry dust, clay, silica, and other low-grade substitutes. Data on cement quality submitted by the Ghana Standards Authority at a stakeholder meeting of the Cement Manufacturing Committee and industry players on March 5 this year confirmed an ongoing trend of production and sale of substandard cement in the country. Please name and shame them. Let's take you to the front page of the BNFT quickly, where the citrus industry say they are facing serious liquidity charges.
challenges.
Yes, challenges on page 3 of the BNFT. The domestic citrus industry is at risk of severe contraction as liquidity constraints and delayed payments threaten the survival of farmers and processors. Despite an annual production of 440,000 tons of citrus in 2024, stakeholders say only 40% of output is being economically utilized, with the rest either wasted or sold at a loss.
Let me give you two education-related stories. Fire guards Laboni SHS girls' dormitory. This is Abigail Arthur reporting on Citi News. A devastating fire ravaged 3 girls' dormitories at Laboni Senior High School in Accra, leaving significant damage to the facilities. Emergency services, including the Ghana National Fire Service, responded promptly to the scene and worked tirelessly to bring the situation under control. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined, but the fire broke out while students were attending afternoon prep. And this impacted 3 out of 6 dormitories, with 1 completely destroyed and 2 others sustaining partial damage. The exact cause of the fire is an investigation. We are told, however, that no injuries were reported and affected students were relocated to the assembly hall. Some have been sent home to deal with the situation. Still on secondary schools, Agri Memorial students sleeping in hallways call for urgent infrastructure. This is Graphic Online. Students of the Agri Memorial AME Zion School have raised concern about the congestion in dormitories and called for urgent infrastructural support.
Wow.
Reiterating the call, the girls prefect of the school, Mami Dokuble, lamented the severe congestion in the boarding facilities, noting that some students had resorted to sleeping in corridors, which posed security challenges. She said the congestion also left the students prone to communicable diseases. She thus urged authorities to prioritize the construction of additional dormitory blocks and the provision of more boreholes and water storage tanks to address frequent water shortage. Now, this was at the school's 85th anniversary celebration last Saturday, where they called for infrastructure, particularly more dormitories, to ease the congestion. Meanwhile, the headmistress of the school, Dorothy Adentri Hayford, also called for urgent infrastructural support to address the challenges affecting academic and student life at the institution.
I'll stay with education for you on page 38 of the Daily Graphic. The campus of the Gambaga College of Education in the Northeast region has been provided with 24-hour security by the Ghana Police Service. The decision became necessary following a recent attack on 8 male students in the community by some unknown gunmen who shot at them, leading to the death of one of the students with another sustaining gunshot wounds.
I bring you water stories. In the Ashanti region, the Ashanti Regional Minister has sent a reminder to residents that water supply will be cut from today and restored on Thursday to allow works on the Swami interchange. Greater Kumasi will be affected. Now, in the northern region, the regional minister, Mr. Ali out of John in Debugri. No, that's not in Debugri.
Ali out of John.
Out of John. Yes, they've added another name I'm not used to. I'm sorry. He's appealed to the Ghana Water Limited to ration water to serve residents of Tamale and its environs in order to address water crisis facing the metropolis.
Meanwhile, still in the northern region, severe flooding hit Bimbela on Sunday evening following heavy rains, leaving many homes submerged and residents stranded. You should have seen the report yesterday. The flooding has been attributed to clogged gutters caused by indiscriminate refuse dumping by residents, preventing proper flow of water through the drainage. Assembly members from the affected electoral area spoke to Channel 1 News about the situation. The gutter is choked, so when it rains, the water cannot flow from the other side to the gutter. Can you imagine? This is Bimbela. Some affected residents expressed frustration and appealed for urgent assistance. So I don't even understand how we would allow these kinds of things to continue.
And then just to wrap things up from my end, Bernard, on page 7 of the Inquisitor is an important feature. It's titled Unim Red, a social media trend or a reality of the devastating effect of substance abuse.
Right. The final one I'd like listeners to remember is that Mahama has hinted at a national airline. So we'll follow this.
Meanwhile, Abosokai spare parts dealers are refuting claims linking price hikes to fare increment because the fuel prices have come down for the third pricing window in the year. But some spare parts dealers and transport unions are announcing price hikes.
Why?
They said prices are high. They said fuel is expensive.
But that thing has reduced 3 times.
I think the percentage reduction is very low. And I don't know. You should, but they were in the news this morning.
I heard Abosokai, they never reduce the price of spare parts when the dollar stabilizes or
I know.
When the fuel goes
and I know because your car.
You understand.
You understand.
You are every week, 1 week.
You are being brutalized by Abosokai.
Speaking of Abosokai, have they announced the MMDCs and whatnot?
No, they have not.
Not yet.
You have not announced them.
Why
do you have somebody for where's Abosokai is where? What assembly is that?
Well, the people said
that's Okankwe Central.
Yeah,
most likely it is Okankwe.
Do you have any names?
I don't have any names up. The people are bathing there. I'm telling you.
Oh, they are still doing it.
This morning is not like this morning. Plenty. There were like almost 200 people bathing this morning.
Where?
Right in front of the former of the Accra Mosque. They are bathing
near the road.
Yeah, from the is it Goa Transport or GUO Transport?
Man,
GUO Transport Yard all the way up to the road.
People bathing.
They are just bathing all over the place. They are bathing.
Near the gutter.
Yeah. No, you know the drain is covered, which is
so they are standing on.
They are standing on the culverts and they are washing down inside.
And they are bathing.
They are bathing.
In the open.
Sweetly.
One country, open defecation, open bathing, open everything. Oh, what is this?
Oh my God.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
All right, so a minute to 7. City Business News coming up shortly, brought to you by EcoBank. Don't be scammed. Fraud activities are on the rise as scammers continue to target customers of various banks through phone calls, text messages, and emails. Now, they're looking for your phone. They are looking for your password. They are looking for your PIN or your card information, or what is called your CVV, which is the 3-digit number at the back of your card, and other personal details. Now, beware of fraudsters and do not click on any link from anyone requesting for anything from your bank. Go to the bank physically or call 0800 003 225 toll free for more information from EcoBank on these matters.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City Business News at 7 with Neela Tilati. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello to you out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News on 97.3 City FM. The bulletin is proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I am Neela Tilati. Coming up this morning, Treasury bill yields continue to drop further, now averaging between 15 and 18% on the money market. Also, former Deputy Finance Minister Mona Korte is advocating for government to make structural changes in its policies to establish a women's development bank. And later, a group calling itself the Alliance of Drivers Ghana is set to increase fares by 20% starting today, March 17, 2025. Let's settle for the details now. A former Deputy Finance Minister, Mona Korte, is advocating for the government to make structural changes in its policy to establish a women's development bank. She believes that some public banking institutions have already set up dedicated desks which should be strengthened to provide financial support for women. In an interview with City Business News, Mona Korte argued that establishing a separate bank may not be necessary in the short term.
With respect to the Women's Bank, there may be some changes because we are all going to advocate for some changes to be made. We believe that there is infrastructure and personnel already in place in different areas. For example, in the Ghana Exim Bank, for example, in some of the banks that we have, Ghana Commercial Bank and so forth, where we could have desks to attend to women businesses, and that we may not need to set up a complete bank with new personnel associated with it. We could start by having desks in existing financial institutions, lending out the money quickly to the women so that the impact is right there. And then in the medium to long term, look at building a bank for it.
Mona Korte is a former Deputy Minister of Finance. Now, a group calling itself the Alliance of Drivers Ghana is set to increase fares by 20% starting today, March 17, 2025. The group attributes the planned fare hike to what it describes as rising fuel prices, engine oil costs, and spare parts. In an interview with City Business News, the National Public Relations Officer for the group, Kweku Boateng, urged commuters to bear with the situation.
With this increment from February 15th, the budget came. We are not hear anything about. We do the taxes on the fuel. The Minister of Finance stand and speech the whole day, not to reduce any any tax on the fuel. With the driver, the continue buy high fuel, our lot of increase 20%. So we plead our passengers to help us to maintain our cars because the thing is not good and we cannot go to work and come back home with empty hand. We can't. So we plead our passengers to help us to 20%. Can have money to buy spare parts to our car.
That was Kweku Boateng, the National Public Relations Officer for the Alliance of Drivers Ghana. Meanwhile, the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association has rejected claims of a price increase for spare parts. The association has urged the public to disregard these claims. Techiado is communications officer for the association.
Spare parts prices remain constant, stable, the same, because the new administration has not done anything. Last week, they just read their budget last week. Parliament is yet to accept the budget. So I don't see the reason why this group can issue a statement that price of spare parts has increased. So they also want to increase their lot of fares. Spare parts industry is firm, supporting the government. The government committed to support spare parts. We treat all Ghanaians across the length and breadth of this country that they should debunk these groups. They are misleading Ghanaians. They have personal agenda against the new government.
You heard a communications officer for the Abosokan Spare Parts Dealers Association, Techi Ado, there. Now, many Ghanaians are increasingly relying on additional sources of income to cope with stagnant wages and rising living costs. According to the 2024 Old Mutual Financial Services Monitor, we surveyed 650 working adults earning 1,000 Ghana cedis or more per month. This indicates deep-rooted community ties and an entrepreneurial spirit are driving this trend. Daniel Odru Mensah has more in the following Business Desk report.
According to the report, nearly 38% of Ghanaians supplement their primary earnings by receiving funds from family and friends, both locally and overseas. This pattern not only underscores the financial challenges many face, but also reflects the local concept of Biakoye, where individual well-being is intertwined with community support. In addition, the data shows that just over 20% of working Ghanaians engage in polyjobbing, taking on side hustles, freelancing, or after-hours work in addition to their regular employment. This trend is even more pronounced among those earning 3,000 Ghana cedis or more per month, with about 31% reporting additional income streams. These figures suggest that while extra jobs help cushion financial strain, they also indicate a broader reliance on informal economic activities to make ends meet. The findings come against the backdrop of a challenging economic environment marked by an erosion in real earnings and heightened living expenses. As wage growth fails to keep pace with inflation, more Ghanaians are turning to alternative income sources not just as a stopgap measure, but as a necessary part of their financial strategy. Meanwhile, financial analysts suggest that policymakers and financial institutions should pay closer attention to these trends, strengthening social safety nets and creating opportunities for better paying formal jobs could help reduce the heavy reliance on informal support systems.
Daniel Odro Mensah with that Business Desk report. Now to our headline story now, and Treasury bill yields continue to drop further, now averaging between 15% and 18% on the money market. This comes despite government surpassing its Treasury bill target, raising 514 million Ghana cedis more than it targeted. Here's more.
Economic watchers attribute the continuous drop in Treasury bill rates to strong investor interest. At last week's auction, the 91-day bill fell from 17.72% to 15.88%. The 182-day bill fell from 18.97% to 16.93%, and the 364-day bill fell from 18.98% to 18.97%. However, the rate of decline has slowed as the government aims to cut borrowing costs. Despite lower rates, the government raised 8.77 billion Ghana cedis, that is 514 million Ghana cedis more than its 8.26 billion Ghana cedi target. All 6.2 billion Ghana cedis tendered for the 91-day bill Treasury bill was accepted. The 182-day bill attracted 1.83 billion Ghana cedis in bids, with 1.8 billion Ghana cedis accepted. Meanwhile, the 364-day bill saw a 1.2 billion Ghana cedis tendered, but only 746 million Ghana cedis was accepted. In the next auction, the Treasury aims to raise 6.14 billion Ghana cedis.
Netele Nete Ajahu with that report. The Regional Executive for Central, Eastern and Southern Africa at EcoBank and Managing Director of EcoBank Kenya, Dr. Josephine Anan Ankuma, is calling for policy reforms to eliminate systemic barriers hindering women and women-led businesses. She maintains that stakeholders, including financial institutions, must take deliberate steps to invest in women, as their economic empowerment is key to driving sustainable growth and transformation. Delivering this year's Agri-Fraser Gaggisberg Memorial Lectures at the University of Ghana, where she was conferred an honorary Doctor of Laws, Dr. Anan Ankuma stressed the need for a more inclusive financial ecosystem that prioritizes access to capital, mentorship, and market opportunities for women entrepreneurs.
To policymakers, stop setting vague targets and start enforcing measurable change. A gender-neutral policy is just a fancy way of saying gender blind. If women aren't intentionally included, they are systemically excluded. To banks and financial institutions, women aren't risky borrowers. They are your best investment. They repay loans at higher rates than men. Yes, I said it. They repay at higher rates than men. And they reinvest in businesses and communities. You want high value? You want loyal clients? Fund more women. To fintech disruptors, if your mobile app still requires a woman to visit a branch to finalize transaction, hear me, you are disrupting nothing.
Dr. Josephine Anan Ankuma is the Regional Executive for Central, Eastern and Southern Africa at EcoBank and Managing Director of EcoBank Kenya. On the forex market this morning, the dollar trading at 15 cedis 50 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 80 pesos, that of the euro going for 16 cedis 50 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of City Business News. I am Ni Latte.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy, mommy me rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more, dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Jumping into kickoff brought to you by Lesheho and Shell. Lesheho Don't Call Me campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lesheho, you don't have to face them alone. From now until April 30, 2025, we've reduced our interest rates just for you, whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses. We've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply call or WhatsApp Nana on 0270-040-799 or 0270-040-733. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. T's and C's apply. Let's share, let's improve life. And from planning date nights to making your kids happy with the latest toy and ice cream, these seemingly small things make all the difference in creating lasting memories. Good times start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. Fill up on love, laughter, sumptuous bites, and treats from our partner vendors. Whether you want juicy chicken filling burger snacks, a space just to unwind, trust me, you'll find it all at Shell. While you're enjoying yourself with your family and friends, your car can also get the love it deserves at the Shell service station and wash bay. There's one roof for everything. Visit Shell today. Shell, go well.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's Livramento for Harvey Barnes. Tino Livramento again. Here's a test. It's Isak out. Here's a goal. They won't rule that one out. Alexander Isak. Newcastle United have won absolutely nothing since 1969. They are 2-0 up in the Carabao Cup final.
And Liverpool lost to Newcastle.
Yes, in the Carabao Cup final. It was the last time Newcastle United won a domestic trophy was back in 1954-55 season. So it was 70 years.
Wow.
Charlie.
Interesting. And I'm told Liverpool is not happy about it.
Liverpool?
Oh, no, that's what I heard today.
Well, it was Alexander Isak's 58th goal in 100 appearances for Newcastle United and what a way to do it against Liverpool at the Wembley Stadium in the final of the Carabao Cup. Newcastle United securing their first domestic trophy in 70 years. Here in Ghana, we were at the Honeysuckle Pub inside Laboni, our second road show in 2025. Alright, Monda Plus, what happened in the English Premier League and also some updates from Ghana's game against Chad this Friday in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. I am Gabi Ofer, and as always, many thanks to Zonda GH, Shell, Go On, and Leshell. Let's improve life. Alright, so let's start off with the Black Stars of Ghana, and the team will gather in Accra later today for their initial training session, kicking off a 4-day preparation period ahead of their match against Chad at the Accra Sports Stadium. That game is on Friday, March 21. The game will kick off at 7 p.m. Now, some players arrived last night after playing for their respective clubs. That Mohamed Kudus, Antoine Semenyo, and Kamaldeen Slimania, who play in the English Premier League, alongside goalkeepers Jojo Wolacott, plays for Crawley Town, and Lawrence Atizigi, who plays for St. Gallen in the Swiss League. Some players are expected to join the squad later today for the first team's practice. And according to the GFA, the training session later today and Tuesday is open to the public, so you can head there and go watch the Black Stars take their training session ahead of that game against Chad on Friday at the Accra Sports Stadium. The Black Stars will play Chad on the Friday before they travel to Morocco to take on Madagascar in another Group I fixture on Monday, March 24. Let's get some reactions regarding Otuado, who is under so much pressure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers after failing to win a single game in the AFCON qualifiers, which led the country missing out on the AFCON for the very first time in 20 years. He has what a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee for Youth and Sport, Adama Sulemana, thinks of Otuado.
the results speak for itself. It's not been encouraging. This is a team, the Black Stars, this is a team that, apart from 2006 and 2004, in fact, in 2004, we didn't even qualify. 2006, we qualified, but we got knocked out by Zimbabwe or something. But since then, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2013, 2015, the least we make is the semi-finals. So Ghanaians have been accustomed to good performances during the AFCON. Near heartbreaks, sometimes we come close finals, we lose some penalties. So, I mean, if you get there and we know we are top there, but I will not blame Coach Otto Addo alone. I mean, since 2017, thereabouts, the fortunes of the Black Stars have dwindled.
Adama Sulemana is a member of the Parliamentary Select Committee for Youth and Sports, speaking under pressure, Otto Addo. Away from the Black Stars, Ghana's under-20 side, as the Black Satellite, are set to participate in the Four-Nation Tournament in Morocco, starting today as part of their preparation for the upcoming under-20 African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. In the Ghana Premier League, Bibiani Gold Stars missed the chance to move to the top of the table after suffering a 2-0 defeat to Diana FC in Doma. Kotoko and Samatex also shared the spoils at the Century Sports Complex. Bicham United beat Vision FC by 2-0. And Nations also beat Mediama Sporting Club. Legon Cities beat Brooklyn Chelsea by 2-0. Accra Hearts of Oak lost to Mediama Sporting Club on Saturday. Nope, they lost to Dreams FC rather on Saturday at the Legon Stadium. Inspirational FC did not play their game over the weekend after releasing a statement announcing their withdrawal from the league due to security concerns they raised. The GFA is yet to respond to that statement or provide guidance on the way forward. Well, staying with the Ghana Premier League, and NSA boss Yam Pofankra has praised the immense popularity of the English Premier League in Ghana, while calling for the same level of passion shown by Ghanaians to the competition to be replicated in the Ghana Premier League. He made his call while speaking at the Ghana's EPL Trophy in Ghana, event that had former Black Stars EPL players John Pencil and John Mensah present to welcome the EPL Trophy to Ghana.
It's happened to the best, and the EPL is the best. The numbers don't lie. And I know if you try to make a comparison with our own domestic league, unfortunately, we don't come near, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't still want to dream of, imitating the best. That's a compliment. So for us, it's about learning to close the gap. If it will take 5 years or 10 years or whatever, as long as we're able to see how great the EPL is and hope that the fans in Manchester United, Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool also can translate that passion to Kotoko Hearts, Olympics, So the best in the world, I don't think there's a problem with admiring it. Now we need to translate that and make it a reality. How do we replicate or try to replicate the numbers in the EPL?
All right, so that's NSA boss Yam Pofankra speaking right there. Well, speaking of the English Premier League, Mikel Merino scored the only goal of the game as Arsenal beat Chelsea to move 12 points behind leaders Liverpool. The win for the Gunners meant that they cut the deficit between them and Liverpool to 12 points. It was one of the games that featured in our second road show of 2025, and we were at the Honeysuckle Pub and Restaurant in Taylor-Bonny. But let's get the thoughts of Arsenal's match winner, Mikel Merino.
Yeah, it feels amazing, always winning at home, even more in a London derby against a really good side. I think we are really happy. It was a tough battle today, 1-0 win for us, clean sheet again. So yeah, buzzing for the result, and hopefully we can get a momentum after this game. And luckily for us, we have now international break, but well, it's more time to, savor the victory.
All right, so that's Arsenal's Mikel Merino speaking after the 1-0 win over Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. Rasmus Højlund ended his 21-game goal drought as Manchester United won 3-0 against Leicester City to push the Foxes closer to the drop. In the Carabao Cup, Newcastle United secured their first domestic trophy for 70 years and ended the wait for a major prize stretching back to 1969 with a deserved 2-1 win over Liverpool at Wembley. The last time Newcastle United won a domestic trophy was in the 1954-55 season when they won the FA Cup after beating Manchester City by 3-1. Now the man to help them break that domestic trophy drought is Eddie Howe.
Very, very emotional. I've been emotional all day, to be honest, which is very unlike me, sort of around the game day. But we just knew what was at stake today for all the people here, all the people back in Newcastle. We just wanted to do them proud. We were desperate to try and win the trophy after all the years of hurt, and I'm so pleased, not just with the result, but the performance. I thought we deserved the win today.
We've talked a few times during this Carabao Cup campaign.
All right, so that's Newcastle's manager, Eddie Howe, speaking there. Well, here in Ghana, like I said, we are the Honeysuckle Pub and Restaurant for our second road show in 2025. And we caught up with a Newcastle fan, Dixon Graham. He had this to say.
We didn't win a trophy since 1969, before I was born. It's true.
How does it feel now? You win a trophy finally. You need to tell your next generation about it.
Fantastic. They will see more. Don't worry.
All right, so you have something last bit, something you want to talk about?
Yeah. Before the game, everybody doubted. Liverpool were favourites, just like Arsenal in the last round. Goodbye to all.
All right, so that's a very happy Newcastle United fan, Dixon Graham. He was at the Honeysuckle Pub and Restaurant speaking to my colleague Bernard Abeku. Away from England, let's get to Spain now.
And here's Ferran Torres. He can really finish it. Still Ferran Torres gets the shot away, and it's past Jano Black, and the misery is complete. The Barcelona players sprint into that corner, high up on that side of the stadium. A small pocket.
All right, so Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres striking in stoppage time as Barca came back from 2 goals down to claim a dramatic 4-2 victory over fellow title hopefuls Atletico Madrid and move to the top of La Liga. Barca now level on 60 points with Real, but crucially have a game in hand. Atletico remain third and now 4 points behind the top 2. Well, let's finish off with some Formula 1.
Now he sees the crowd rise to applaud him as the winner. Norris weathers the storm. The British driver sees the checkered flag first. Lando Norris wins the Australian Grand Prix in a brilliant battle all the way to the flag. He beat Max Verstappen by 0.8 of a second. George Russell completes the podium, and Kimi Antonelli comes home in 4th position. Apply the 5-second penalty, and it drops down to 5th.
All right, so McLaren's Lando Norris with a huge performance in a dramatic incident-packed race to beat Max Verstappen and win the Australian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton making his debut for Ferrari finished 10th, and a difficult day for the team with George Russell 3rd for Mercedes in Melbourne. That's the very latest in the world of sports. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com, and on X, you can find us at City Sports GHA. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Zonda GH and Shell. Go well. And also Shell, let's improve life. I am Gabi Ofe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care of yourself and bye-bye.
There are some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra SP020, made for premium. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. never stuck with nothing. No matter your situation, let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, let's go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's go, we improve your life.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
With the recent increase in electricity tariffs and fuel prices, power, although unreliable, has become expensive, and owning a noisy generator becomes a headache rather than luxury. For an affordable and durable electricity solution, you need to go solar with Translight. Feel the independence, experience the comfort, and be productive. Translight Solar. Wherever there is sunlight, there is Translight. Think solar. Think Translight. Locate us at 98 Boundary Road, East Legon, in between ARS and the American House at the White House bus stop. Visit our website at translightsolar.com. Call us on 0504-249-229 or 0206-542-454 or reach us through email info@translightsolar.com.
Yafinia gave us the vibe. Now, Insurance Chile makes you thrive.
Yes, so it's time to enjoy, Charlie. Buy or renew your motor insurance and boom! Free fuel coupons and airtime for your sweat. Who don't like enjoyment? Skidibidi-bum-ba-dum-boom.
From January to June 2025, Enterprise Insurance gives you more reasons to smile on the road. Insure today and enjoy free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone.
Free fuel? Airtime too? Hey! Enterprise Insurance. Always your advantage.
Insure Chile. It's simple. Insure and enjoy. Ready to secure your peace of mind and experience the fastest claims payment? Visit any of our branches or agency outlets nationwide. Connect with your insurance broker or enjoy the convenience of buying your insurance online through the Enterprise Advantage app today. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise, your advantage.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa musemo or gas. Afeidie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
You are starting life, you want financial freedom, you know where to go. For your child's education, financial freedom, we got solutions just for you. For your retirement plan, employee wellness and benefits. Old Mutual, your preferred insurer. Old Mutual is the best.
What are you waiting for? Come and join us. Call us on 030-7600. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Do great things every day. Do great things every day.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
City 97.3. More variety. City 97.3. Accra.
.736 on the City Breakfast Show, live on 97.3 City FM, and of course a lot of people sharing today as their birthday. Help me wish your fellow Odadia Ebenezer Amankwaminka, Executive Director of Ekam Group Limited, a happy 40th. May this new chapter bring him even greater joy, success and fulfillment. This is from Richard Ahiagble to his friend Odade Ebenezer Amankwaminka. Happy birthday to Reverend Ebenezer Lano Tekwete, pastor in charge, Covenant Family Community Church, Ajem Kotoku, and retail operations manager for Velisco, Udin and GTP. Long life, good health and more grace to do greater exploits and open heavens on all that you do. You will live to declare the works of the Lord. We love you big time. From your wife Josephine, your children Alvin and Jocelyn, and from all members of the Covenant Family Community Church Ajen Kotoku branch. Happy birthday to Reverend Ebenezer Lano Tekbete. And of course, I join myself to that request. Happy birthday, bro. And to Felix Kojo Kwanza, happy belated to you, FO. I celebrate you as a brother and a friend. What a year 2025 is shaping up to be. Huge congratulations to you on popping the question. Wishing you and your fiancé all the love, happiness, and adventures as you start the new chapter together. From FO Patena. Happy 11th to my amazing twins, Alberta Ajay Kwache and Albert Ajay Kwache. It feels like just yesterday you were tiny bundles of joy, and you are now both blossoming into incredibly young individuals, bringing so much light and laughter into our lives. As you turn 11, may this year be filled with exciting adventures. Let's celebrate this special day together. From your dad, Isaac Ajay Kwache, PR Officer, Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions. And of course, this one is coming from Egypt Kudoto to his wife. He says, today we celebrate the incredible woman who brought our 3 amazing boys into the world, the heart of our home and the love of my life. You are not only a wonderful mother, but also a strong, kind and beautiful soul who fills our lives with so much joy. Watching you nurture and guide our boys with so much patience and grace is a blessing. May this special day bring us much happiness as you bring to our family. Happy birthday, my queen. We love you so much. Good morning. Coming in from Egypt, Kudoto. Egypt, what you do not do is you don't mention your wife's name. So I don't know her name, but I'm sure she knows. Another one coming in from Kofi Kekeli Amedro. Wishing his mom a happy, blessed birthday, Patience Ama Gogovi, aka Nana Obuenipa. The most altruistic person I have ever met. May God grant her better health and wisdom as she continues to age.
Nana Obuenipa.
From Kofi Kekeli Amejo to his mother.
That's an interesting one. Happy birthday to Mr. Chris Togbo Agoy, a retired astute cameraman with GBC. We wish him a life full of good health, blessings, and long life. This is from Charles Rodeling and Nak, and our mom Angelina to Mr. Chris Togbo Agoy. Happy birthday
to
you.
Ago or Agoy?
So
Agoe.
Yes.
It's Ago.
Ago.
No, Ago
okay. I saw E there, so I'm not Madam Pupekam. Mr. Ago. Alright, Ago. Oh, right. Talk about Ago. Happy birthday to Rachel Erekia Aseye Norte of Baby Nest School Dansuman. You are 4 years today. May the Lord be gracious and bless you. May God guide your growth and fill you with His Holy Spirit to fulfill His purpose. This is from your dad, your mom, Rhoda, Miles, and the entire family. Happy birthday, Rachel. Okay.
All right, so 4 security chiefs have been named, but only one is generating controversy. The question is why? So I'm sure you know that President Mahama has appointed new security chiefs for the police, the immigration, the prisons, and the fire service. So COP Christian Tete Yohuno. The name.
Somebody just taught you the name this morning. Mention the team.
I think the second one is Tete. Oh.
Tete. No,
Yohunu.
No,
Yes, Yohunu.
it's not.
Let's not complicate. It's Yohunu.
Charlie, the people are sending. We are heritage man, so let's do the right thing so that we don't get in trouble.
Like Mole.
It's Yohunu.
Now let me play the name properly. Just give me a minute.
Yohunu.
No, the guy sent it. He says it's called.
Yohunu.
Uh-huh.
The name is Yohuno. Yohuno.
Okay.
One woman's husband.
Yohuno. Okay, so Christian Tete Yohuno has been named head of police. DCFO Daniela Mausi Into Sapong is the chief fire officer, Ghana National Fire Service. DDGP3 Patience Bafoboni is now DG at prisons, and DCI Samo Basintali Amadou is the Comptroller General of the Immigration Service. But I think the biggest one is the police for obvious reasons. But the question is, first thing, is it the first time that the naming of a new IGP has been met with a lot of controversy? Or has this always been the case? Why is the Dampari case so unique? And then number 2, what is his legacy? And then I think number 3 question is, what does the public think of his tenure? What does the public think of his tenure? And I want your views as ordinary Ghanaians on how you perceive the police, on the issue of crime, whether from where you sit, Dampari's tenure led to a reduction in crime or not. These are facts that can be proved, but there are also perceptions that can be aired. So I want your perceptions on the Dampari IGP period. Now, over the weekend, we did a couple of interviews. On Friday, we spoke to 2 different schools of thought from the same security institutions on Dampari's tenure. So we'll be happy to hear from you this morning. You can even send us a voice note, right? Yeah. What did you make of the Dampari tenure? So WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. All right, so this morning in our last hour, in the last 30 minutes of the show, Kweku Dakrankra will be on. as part of the Honors series, the African Independent Churches Part 1 is a history he will be exploring with Samens. That's at 9:30, not 9 a.m., 9:30. So watch out for that one. But there's a card for everyone. If you're looking for a bank card that suits your needs, Zenith Bank offers a diverse range of cards designed just for you. Whether you're looking for a credit card to help meet your pressing financial needs, a debit card to have direct access to your funds at all times, or a prepaid card to help manage your spending, we have the perfect solution. No matter your needs, there's a Zenith card for everyone. Visit any Zenith branch nationwide today and choose the card that best works for you. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. This new year, let your journey be worry-free. Renew or buy a brand new motor insurance policy with Providence Insurance from January through March and enjoy exciting rewards, including fuel coupons and exclusive Providence souvenirs. If you need assistance, chat with Obaya, our friendly WhatsApp assistant, on 0242 426 396. She'll sort you out, babia. We have 15 branches nationwide. Providence Insurance is your reliable partner for 43 years, keeping you covered every mile of the way. Don't miss out on this special offer. Chat Obaya now. With Provident, man, you are covered. And Volkswagen wants to be part of every moment in your life, whether you're starting a new family, arriving for an important social gathering, or resolving an emergency at home or at work. The new Terramont will carry your special moments in its renowned spacious 7-seater. Its 3.6-litre V6 petrol engine, producing maximum power of about 280 horsepower. Be sure it will surely get you home on time. Starting at 712,000 cedis, you can get in touch with us on 025 795 6688 for more information.
Next time you fly from Accra, why don't you fly better with Emirates? In Emirates economy, you can get a taste of your destination on board with complimentary regionally inspired meals. And as you savor each course of delicious gourmet cuisine at 40,000 feet, you can toast to new adventures with complimentary beverages. It's the perfect way to start your holiday. And of course, you can expect world-class service along every step of your journey. You get so much more in Emirates economy. Enjoy more convenience and flexibility to over 140 destinations within the Emirates Global Network. Find out more at emirates.com. And when you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try Belmoo flavored milk. Belmoo comes in chocolate and sweet strawberry flavors. It's perfect for any time of the day for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or a quick pick-me-up. For bulk distribution, call 0544 335900 or 0544 335800. Belmoo is maliciously delicious, another quality product from Bell Aqua.
Yes, indeed. So the question is, why does there appear to be so much interest in the IGP one? Obviously, the police is more public-facing than the prisons, the immigration, and the fire service. So generally, an IGP is more high-profile than the other three.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be surprising. But I think this is the first time an IGP's exit has been met with this level of public discourse. I stand to be corrected. In your media work, have you seen an IGP whose tenure has divided the public so much in terms of how they feel about him? Because I get the sense there's a sort of split.
Yes, I think we can confidently say that Dampare is perhaps one of the more polarizing Inspector Generals of Police that we've had in recent history. And the fact that he has that perhaps speaks to the job that was done, and we'll find time to go through that. But I want to begin, though, from just the changes that have been made. So the police changes, of course, hog the headline. But I look at prisons, for instance, and I'm particularly interested in what happens there.
So the new DG is called Patience Bafo Boni. DDGP3.
Related to the judge?
I do not know.
I think so.
Maybe he will know.
Okay, we will.
But that name is such a unique name.
It's such a
So it
unique
has to
name.
be- it has to
Quite
be-
clearly that
All the Bafubonis
one.
are related Ashanti people generally. So
Okay, so generally could be.
Could be,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And if you look at
So we have two women now. Fire officer is a woman.
Yes.
Prison is a woman.
if you look at where prison reform is going generally, globally, the
Mhm.
conversations around reformation of persons, incarcerated persons, this is a big job that Madame Bafuboni has inherited, particularly also the perceptions about prison officers in this country and how we run our prisons.
Mm.
We've done the stories on how they don't have a massive budget, prison conditions are not the best,
Mm.
whether they actually care about reformation and that sort of thing. So for me, it's pretty key. Fire service also.
So I'm told she's a lawyer.
Okay.
She's a lawyer.
There are lawyers, they're
And
everywhere.
I'm also told is a spouse of the judge.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm told.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's an
yeah,
interesting. pick.
Anyway,
that's an interesting.
That,
pick.
that was just an aside.
So what about
Obviously
the
very
fire,
qualified.
chief fire officer?
Yeah,
being
that's
a
what I'm
woman?
saying. That again,
Yeah.
if you look at fire service, is it the best version of a fire service we can have? I don't think the fire service has improved over the past 5 or 6 years. I think the fire service, in terms of we've had the president and the fire boss, the previous one, speak about the fact that it's been about almost a decade since they've actually had retooling, proper retooling of tenders, hydrants, all those things. So again,
The work is cut out.
The work is cut out. It's not about, oh, you've been given the job. We tend to most of the time focus on the police because there are a lot of them and we tend to deal with them. But a lot of people who've had issues with fires, we had a lot of market fires. The victims of those market fires will tell you that they wish we had a better fire service because they
even with the way they report the fires post, like what they do with the reports. Even with the fact that you remember there was this one they were even filming.
Yes,
the
it was
crash.
live and
So
the training looked
yeah.
a bit strange.
There needs to be a lot of.
You
So
know.
maybe we can later on give 3 or 4 points that each of them needs to
Yes.
focus on.
I'm building a point. I'm
Yes.
just saying that attention moves towards the Dampare one, obviously because he's been in the headline from day one.
Yes.
From the first day that he was appointed IGP.
In fact, even before he was appointed IGP, he was
constantly in the news.
Yes.
He's been a fixture in media circles for a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously he was going to hog the headlines.
Is it fair to call him a superstar policeman in relation to the way he's perceived in the media? Proud to even becoming IGP. I think he was director of something.
Yes.
And a lot of times the media seems to like him.
Look, it was
and give him a lot of coverage.
It was pretty clear what IGP Dampare set out to do.
Mhm.
Prior to Dampare coming in, the Ghana Police Service reputation was not the best.
Good.
The public's perception, and there is data to prove this. If you check the last 6 of 7 rounds of Afrobarometer, the Ghana Police Service's the perception of the general public of the work the Ghana Police Service does has not been the best. They constantly rank among the bottom when it comes to corruption, when it comes to trust, when it comes to the key parameters of a public
Facing institution
like that.
Good.
They're almost always last.
Good.
Okay.
Which he took issue
Which
with.
he
even
issue
wrote
with.
2 letters to sort of criticize their methodology. I remember there was a whole
Yes.
round of discussion on that.
You know, so he came in with an agenda for change.
Okay.
For the image
of the police
among the public.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not a policeman, but I am at the end of what he sought to do.
Okay.
I think that the success was mixed. There were things that I liked. There were things that I did not like. Of course, the push to let the service look a lot more professional, even in how they dress. You could significantly tell that there had been a change in how officers carried themselves, how they had been asked to carry themselves. You could tell in how they had been asked to communicate to the general public in a certain way. If you met certain officers, the interaction, look, because I interact with policemen a lot. You could tell the difference.
So let me ask a question based on the first point. Your first point was that he set out to improve the image of the police among the public.
Whether he succeeded or not, I have not.
So no, that's what I want. I want to ask the public: has the image of the police improved for you? How long has Dan Parry been in office, or was he in office? 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Okay. So based on what Godfred is saying, that he believes Dan Parry's number one objective was to improve the image of the police among the general public.
Yes.
So the question to the general public this morning is the police image for you going up? Has it gone up in the past 5 years? Is it flat or is it going down?
Yeah.
So has Dan Parry improved the image of the police? I really want to hear from you on this. So you may send me a voice note or you may send me a WhatsApp message. Now, I'll let... yes, so
it's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah, 1st
so
August 2021.
I want to do second. I want to push you here. That you said he came for the image of the police in the public. There were platforms where it was reported that police people were rejoicing. There were videos that I have seen of police people happy that he has been... He was telling us...
That he was gone.
Yes. Now, does that... How does that sit for the... Because this will be the first time I've seen that an IGP not being maintained has led to jubilation among police, and this jubilation is put on social media. People are sharing it on Facebook,
TikTok, Facebook,
and
WhatsApp,
some are
everywhere.
openly saying that they are happy that he's not being maintained. These are mostly police people.
Yeah.
How does that sit?
Well, as a manager, okay, my takeaway from situations like that is either the manager's agenda for change, it means it impacted people's accepted way of doing things to the point where they felt uncomfortable, or the manner in which the agenda for change was carried out was unacceptable. I hope the point I'm making...
Can you repeat that point?
I'm saying either the agenda for change was carried out in a way that made people uncomfortable, or the method of carrying out the agenda was just purely uncomfortable.
So sometimes if people don't like their leader, it's because maybe he's doing things to stop their bad
things. And people normally don't like that. Or the manner in which he's doing it genuinely is also not good.
So it could be
it could be one of those. Either way, you are going to have people who are not happy with you. And that is just purely from a manager. A manager is rarely universally liked. Some instances here.
But there are some, and there's some reformers who, when they leave, people really hail them. I'll give you an example.
It depends on...
Okay, yes.
I get the point you're making. But it depends on...
What he's trying to change.
What you are trying to change, one, and the depth from which you are trying to pull that organization up from. There are certain organizations that are so down, you basically have to go scorched earth.
So that they will fight you because you are trying to... They are the problem.
Let's look at Manchester United. It's an example everybody can look at. Sir Richard Ratcliffe is getting a lot of grief from everybody because he's cutting costs, he's firing people, he's doing ABCD, but he's saying, look, the whole world, everybody's unhappy with him. If you read the reports, Bernard, everybody's unhappy with him. But the point is, from where he sits and the numbers he looks at, he's telling you, if I don't do this, at the end of the year, there's no money to run the club. Which one do you prefer? He would prefer to be unpopular this year with 300 million people around the world who are insulting him at this moment, but perhaps who next year, when the club is back in the top 4, will forget that last year they were sacking 700 people. They would have forgotten about that.
But that's true if it's clear what needs to be done. So
exactly.
In this case for the police, can we say from an outside view that we are clear what he's doing and that what he's doing is improving the police? Because they are the ones who are saying, if you listen to the interviews which I'm coming to air, one of them said only people close to him were being promoted. There were all kinds of things going on around him which were not.
There's a lot of intrigue, internal intrigue and conspiracy theories about what was going on in the police service. And I cannot speak to that because I am not a member of the Ghana Police Service. Mm-hmm. So the points I make will certainly be those of an end consumer, somebody who has to deal with the reform that is ongoing. And like I said, I criticized some of the things that were done, particularly with the media engagement. As a media professional, I did not...
Basically, under his tenure, no policeman gave an interview.
Yes, basically, he
sought
to streamline
we didn't have access to, and I need to explain
weird.
to the public that generally, because of our regional correspondents' work, when something happens in a region, they speak to the police on the ground on updates. All of that stopped. So basically, they will issue a terse press statement from Accra and ends the matter. What that does is that it affects follow-ups. It affects the way the story you get, because if you're a correspondent who police cannot tell you anything on the record, what can you really do when it comes to crime? So I don't think that was good from our side.
From our side, that's something.
So it's a question of the good, the bad, the ugly.
And the ugly.
So the good will be police image.
Yes, but overall,
yeah.
Again, I will lend my ears to what the data says. The last round of Afrobarometer that was done on this was February of 2025.
February? Oh, just last month.
Yes, just last month.
And
it did not go well for the Ghana Police Service.
In what area?
In all areas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the perception hasn't necessarily translated to what people think.
People think about it. So, for instance, I'm looking
share
at
that with me before. Wow.
Basically, on point 2, just on key findings, almost 2/3, 63% of citizens say most or all police officials are corrupt.
Still?
Yes.
And this was almost the same when he took over?
Yes.
Oh. Then it means that it has neither gone forward or come back.
Exactly. And this is where we, the public, will judge you. Because this is the only point we can make. The promotions and all others, that is what those who are inside can make. I'm not there.
So this Afrobarometer report is saying that 2/3 of the people still think the police are corrupt.
Yes.
Is that different from previous rounds?
Yes. I will break
you
it down.
You need to get me
yes, I'll give you the overall
yeah,
figure, don't worry.
I'm sure his people will be very interested in this. So, Caleb, have we received any comments on this? Just to read quickly.
Oh, plenty.
Yes, please. The quality of Dan Paris' work is pretty obvious. We can see it's beautiful. I am now very confused about the various voices spewing very unfortunate things about him, including the voice of former MP Tachia. Was he a snake under grass? Is it just hate for his good work? He preventing those in the police service from being unprofessional? I'm very confused now. Most certainly, the image of the police under Dan Paris' tenure improved tremendously. Echo Ocher from Shire Hills, and that, dear Bernard and team, let's not think all previous IGPs were loved. Truth is, the world has changed with social media. Today, people are not worried about putting their opinion out in the open. At first, these channels were not available. Things we see on social media today always existed. Okay. It has just been amplified by social media.
That's a fair point.
Good morning, team. The jubilation over Dan Paris ousting should be analyzed seriously. My experience in the work environment in Ghana show that people don't like managers who want to fix a rotten system because they are taking food from people's mouths. I'm saddened about Dan Paris' exit, but not surprised about the jubilations. That is the typical Ghanaian corrupt mentality. Bright from Sunyani.
All right, I'll take a quick break,
okay.
And when I come back, I'll continue this Dan Paris discussion because there are different levels of experience with Dan Paris in the studio here as well. So let's do tech and social media trends at 8, and the question is still on the table: has the image of the police improved for you in the past 4 years since Dan Paris has been IGP? What do you make of his tenure? And what do you make of the fact that some police are rejoicing at his exit? We are very happy to hear from you on WhatsApp, both based on voice note and WhatsApp text. So let's bring you the segment sponsored by
First Bank Ghana. They say if you're sending money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's very, very easy now. We help you do that through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, PAPS. Just visit any of our branches nationwide with your cash and your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, you will need a First Bank Ghana account. 0596 921 921 is the number to call for more details. Tech and Social Media Trends is also sponsored by Telecel, Connecting Energies.
All right, Susu, tell me what's trending this weekend or this Monday morning.
So, as you know, it was a big weekend of football.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh,
God. I'm sure you were watching the game. I actually heard a report from someone. He said he was watching the game with you for a bit.
He just watched it for 5 minutes and went away.
He said that when the second goal entered, your face went.
I think the people were just more determined to win.
Yeah.
Newcastle wanted it more. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and that Newcastle's number one in the trends because it's been over 50 years since they've won a major trophy. So, as you can imagine, it's a big deal because their last trophy was 1969. That was the Intercity Fairs Cup, which later became the Cup Winners' Cup or the Europa League. One of them.
1969.
That was their last trophy, and I think it was also a very important moment that Dan Burn scored as someone who
is from Newcastle.
So a lot of trends relating to that game are trending. So Liverpool, Isaac, etc., etc. Then there was also the Chelsea Arsenal game. So Maresca, Chelsea, and some Arsenal other games. Sanchez, he made a lot of mistakes in that game. They are also trending. And there was
it's not in the title race.
Oh, until the bones are rotted, yeah. So then obviously there was the Barcelona Atleti game where Atleti took a 2-0 lead at home, but managed to lose 4-2.
Can you imagine?
So a lot of Barcelona trends are trending. So a lot of football trends.
I think now the former Leeds player Barca now is in pole position for Ballon d'Or.
Rafinha.
If he wins the Champions League,
I think so.
It's really good. It's really good.
And the OSP is trending.
Yeah.
I think they've also released a statement to counter Keno Ferreira's lawsuit. So I think that's an interesting episode we should just to go over. A few weeks ago, I believe, the OSP declared our former finance minister Keno Ferreira a wanted fugitive for his failure to appear before them in line with questioning where they said there's about 5 matters they need to speak to him about. The wanted notice was dropped after Keno Ferreira gave assurances that he would be in the country at a given time. But Keno Ferreira has now sued the OSP, claiming that they declared him wanted without due cause. So he's upset about how they've characterized him, and he doesn't like that. And now the OSP has responded, trying to tell us about what the updates on the case are. So it's
an interesting.
It's a back and forth. So it'll be very interesting to watch where that goes.
Okay.
So
finally, tech news.
Well, I have an interesting piece of tech news since we've always been discussing crypto. We've been discussing we. And this goes to what Sky has been saying. It seems that President Mohammed's Twitter account has been involved in a crypto scam.
What do you mean?
So his personal account tweeted something. It's since been deleted that they are launching a coin, and that this is where you can buy the coin. They dropped the contact address and everything. And now the tweet has disappeared, and the coin, as I said before, the value
he wasn't hacked.
Well, that's why I said his account. I didn't say the president.
Something from his account.
It was from his Twitter account. It's now been deleted. This was last night, actually, at about 11 p.m. The tweet came out, and now the tweet is no longer there.
Wow.
Yes.
But that's serious.
Exactly. So now there's questions about cyber security with the president's account and all of that. So
tweeting what coin?
Yeah, it was they call them meme coin. So it launched a coin called Solana Africa.
And you use the president's account to launch it.
And if you do a bit more investigation, you see how it's a scam. It says the team of the coin is John Mahama with a picture of him, Dean Adansi chef. And it's a picture of the former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Addison, and then the Honorable Dr. John Kuma, who has passed away.
So these are criminals who use...
Yeah, because if you have John Kuma on the board, a picture of Addison with a different name, clearly this board is not a board.
So the thing is some way.
Yeah, so it seems like the president's account has been involved in this.
Have they issued a statement formally too?
I have not seen anything from the president's account. But like I said, if this happened at 11 p.m., the people who are awake will see it. But some of us slept and woke up. The tweet came up because I have friends who are into crypto. So one of them sent a tweet to our group chat that this thing, Mahama is about to do like a scam with his account. By the time I woke up to now look at the tweet he sent, the tweet was gone.
Wow.
So if you are not awake, he lives in America. That's why he saw it. Wonderful. So it's late for him. So that's in tech news. So again, the dangers of crypto. Please, as Sky says, be vigilant.
I tell you. Thank you, Susu Graham. That was Tech and Social Media Trends.
For a bank to rely on, let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say to bank be no lie? Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause
Every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to first bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see crap, yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This year, something magical is happening. A celebration of tradition, flavor, and community. Welcome to the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025.
Taste the heart of your heritage with mouth-watering dishes from across the country like Ademe with akple, Tozafi with ayoyo soup, kokonte, apopranta, rare quine, and many more. From rich spices to sweet treats, it's a journey for your senses. We're taking you back to your village.
Oh yes, let's recreate our age-old recipes.
But it's not just about food, you know. We're celebrating culture, connecting with family, and making memories that last a lifetime.
This March, let's come together and discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 29th and 30th of March 2025. The venue, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025, where food, fun, and tradition meet. See you there.
Interested vendors should call 0558-973-973 or 0205-973-973 to register. The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino, Koa Natural Cocoa Fruit Juice, and Pan African Savings and Loans.
In the soil. Find your way into profitable careers and businesses in Agric and ATVET now. Take a step today and change your life, your family, and community. Dial *718*50# to join now. Ghana Grows. Hope Day. Ghana Grows is an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Limehouse, and other partners.
It's time for Bell Move flavored milk. It's Bell Move time. Each and every day. It tastes so good. It tastes so good. I love my Bell Move. Great for each moment. Great for each moment. Any time of day. It's so delicious. So delicious. Bell Move flavored milk. Bell Move. Bell Move. I love my Bell Move. So delicious. Bell Move. Bell Move flavored milk.
Bell Move flavored milk. It's maliciously delicious. For bulk distribution, give us a call on 0544 335 900. Another quality product from Bell Aqua. This advert is FDA approved.
Bell Move flavored milk.
Omni Basic Bank is for all. We've got what you need for your business and family. Whatever you need, you can count and call on us. Omni Basic Bank. Omni Basic Bank is for all. We are not just
not just another bank.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
It's a 8:15. City Breakfast Show. Lots of comments. Go for it. I mean, look.
So much.
Before we get into them, your living room deserves class, warmth, and memory for your family and friends who visit your home. That's why Ashford produces a master class range of sofas and couches, to fit in every corner and space in your living room or balcony. We offer a great range of modern design living room sofas and couches, center tables, wooden beds, headboards, wardrobes, etc. Call us on 0243 200 729. That's 0243 200 for more information. You can also visit our showrooms in all the major malls and across locations. Ash Foam is the only ISO 9001 2015 certified manufacturer of foam and other home soft furnishings in Ghana. Be an Ash Foamer. Buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards, free fuel coupons for your car, and enjoy amazing rewards. With over 100 years of trusted experience, we are here to secure your peace of mind. Visit any branch, connect with your insurance agent or broker, or use the Enterprise Advantage app for convenience and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise Your Advantage. Let me bring you two quick interviews we did briefly on the IGP's tenure. Former CID DG COP Bright Odro was interviewed. We also interviewed the Western Regional MTTD Director, DSP Seth Danso. And as you would expect, one view was critical, the other view was commending. So let's start with COP Bright Odro.
Oh, yes, I know him very well. Well, from the days when he was a constable till he became an officer. And then at headquarters, when he became Director General Finance and Welfare, I was also there as one of the Director Generals. So we've worked together. I know him, he knows me. We had a very wonderful working relationship when I was CID boss. And so I know him.
I see. What kind of person would you describe him as?
In fact, when we were there, I think he was forthright and he was hardworking. and he had held certain positions, key positions in the police service at the time that I was there. But then he wasn't the Inspector General of Police. But I think he excelled wherever he was at the time as Director General of Finance and also as welfare. Then he became operations, and also he was also Director General, I think, he had me also. And so he is well known. He was quite a firm guy. He was quite a firm officer at the time. But as I said, when he became IGP, probably he wasn't the type that we knew when he wasn't the IGP. So these are some of the things. And then the welfare. People were victimized according to some of the reports that we had. If you don't sit well with him, you may be transferred to a very remote area. Even though the rank that you wear does not warrant maybe a transfer to such remote area. So many transfers, and there were people that were not in good relationship with him. And if anybody aligns or anybody is closer to such an officer, you will stand to be victimized. And these things happen. So the welfare matters were grave under his administration. Police officers complained, and if time has come for him also to step aside for somebody to take over, I think that it's in order.
But see, for us outsiders, we see an IGP who is opening up the service to the public, an IGP who doesn't show brute force, an IGP who is calm, who is humble, who is nice to everybody, an IGP who has done renovation works making your police headquarters look beautiful, an IGP who has deployed police visibility motorbikes all around the place so that wherever we are in town we feel safe, an IGP who is working with national security to ensure that security cameras or CCTV cameras at intersections are being used. These are positive things we see, a public image of the police service that he has championed, a police TV that is portraying the good image of the police service and so on and so forth. Could it be the case that he is trying or he dared to be different, and because he dared to be different in a system that likes to be in a certain way, that is why he is being, people are celebrating his exit rather than crying that he's leaving?
But what difference did we see under Mr. Alassane, under Mr. Pitu, under G.Y. Kofi, all the IGPs that have gone? Mr. Alassane was the one who introduced this visibility thing. And successive administrations have also not departed from that direction. And all these things that you mentioned, assuming that we had a different IGP, wouldn't he also do the same thing? If we had motorbikes, if we had so many motorbikes, what would you use them for? Not for patrols. If you have vehicles, police patrol vehicles, won't you use them for patrols? But the point is, these things are being done. You talk about beautifying police buildings and so on and so forth. I mean, crime fighting is not about beautification. You understand? There are robberies taking place, and then you and I don't hear about them. What solutions are being preferred by police to tackle robbery? We see them on patrols. Oh, yes, we see. But what about how have we tackled robbery? And then the officers are not speaking about crimes in their jurisdiction. But crimes are taking place all over the places. But yet they don't talk about them. Look at what happened in Adabraka. Has there been a solution to the robbery, daylight robbery, where so much was taken away? What about police officers that were taken to inquiry and they were killed?
So that was COP Bright Odro. So he clearly has issues. It says, for example, that there was weak internal communication, inadequate police welfare, irregular promotions, which affected the morale of the service. But Western Regional MTTD Director, DSP said that. So on the same interview, commended Dr. Dampare for his contribution to law enforcement, described Dampare as an exceptional leader who made a distinct impact compared to his predecessors.
Western Central Command, I believe, is one of the new regions that were created for the police service. I don't know, was that done under Dr. Dampare?
Yes.
So that's which area is that?
A lot of many regions for to facilitate administration of the police service.
I see. So where is Western Central?
Western Central was carved out of the Western region into three parts. So we have the Western region proper, which is the Sekendita Kradi, and then we have the Western Central, which is Takwa, and then we have the Western North region, which is Sevivi also.
I see. And you have been commander there. Now, I'm told you are going to retire soon, but I want to ask you a question. You have been in the service. You have seen IGPs come. You have seen IGPs go. For the first time, maybe this is the first time I'm seeing it, but for the first time, we are seeing videos from the police headquarters where policemen are jubilating the removal of their boss. The social media views that we see, Dr. Dampare is being portrayed as some demon who has done nothing good. Nebuchadnezzar and all of these things are being used to describe him. Was he really that bad?
My brother, regards to your listeners, first and foremost, but I think we have to call a spade a spade. I have been in the service. I was enlisted into the service in 1988. I was this man, Mr. CK, the one who was in the IGP. And to count the number of IGPs that I have served, a lot of them, and I have observed and followed their works, and particularly you have IGPs like Peter Namfuri, who was mentioned, and everyone in the police service who hail him as one of the best IGPs that ever happened to the police service. But with the coming of Dr. George Akufu Dampare, I think the face of policing in Ghana, generally speaking, changed. And he did a lot. He set the bar so high. And among his peers, the IGPs that have come and gone, my brother, he is one, I would say, is unique among all of them. He stands out. He stands tall among his peers. There's a lot he's done. I don't know if you want me to enumerate.
Yes, I would like you to do enumeration, but before you came on the line, I spoke to your senior, COP retired Bright Odro.
Yes.
He said Dr. Dampare was sitting on on the promotions of police officers. He transferred police officers to places that their rank did not require them to be sent. He talked about the crime that has not been solved. He talked about a number of things and said these are all the ills against Dr. Dampare, and that's why people were jubilating, police officers especially were jubilating his exit. What do you say to these things, that he sat on people's promotions and that he had people who were not his friends, and to the extent that you are not his friend, he would transfer you, and all of these are all allegations being thrown around. What's your response to that, having you describing him as one of a kind?
Yes. Sitting on promotions, I don't think it's anything new. No, the IGP, Dr. Dampare, has always, effected promotions when they are due. People whose promotions.
So 27 minutes past the hour. So it's like a lot of comments are coming on Dampare, and that suggests that his clearly the image of the police became more visible under him, even in national discourse. We've heard, this is the first IGP I've heard, for example, Otumfo's commenting on that Dampare has done well. I think he said it last year. We've heard different groups of influential people commend his policing. Right, it's not very normal that you hear that type of direct commendation of an IGP's work by high-profile people. So clearly, he was doing something right now. I don't know what you make of the it's almost like a division. The general public generally seems to see him in a good light. People within the institution, some of them seem to see him in a really rather negative light. And I think this is, for me, the first time I'm seeing it expressed in this way, in such a high-profile manner. What do you make of that? How the public is seeing him, and his own people are also seeing him in a completely different way?
I think it's normal. I think it's normal. He only was the head of the police institution, and I think, in my own estimation, I think he's done a wonderful job. Near excellent job, I must say. It's not to say that he was perfect, and I don't think he even believed that he was perfect. He's made the police look more attractive under his tenure. They look more composed, and there are indicators to show. I think no less a person than Dr. Kwesi Enin boldly stated that policing has improved, and for that kind of thing to come from a person like that, it can be more scientific than many. And so I tend to go in that direction. Crime rate.
So you believe in Kwesi Enin's?
200%. 200%. You know, there are pockets of communities within the police service that will not be happy, maybe justifiably or unjustifiably, but it's just the nature of leadership. But from where I sit, I think he's done appreciably well. We are too much in a hurry to judge him. Maybe time would crystallize exactly what he has been able to do. There will be good things, there will be not so good things, but I think we should go easy on him as a person. And the thinking that he was doing everything all by himself is a total palpable lie. He can't do everything all by himself. There are factions in the police, so do we have factions in the army. And every leader attracts his own kind within the pockets and the factions. So today it's Bright Odro's day. Tomorrow is Dan Paris' day. That's how things have worked. So I can understand why Bright Odro would take this position. Now, let me come to something.
But Atachia too took a position
because he has a personal engagement with the man. So nobody will take it.
I'm just trying to say that. So he published, the Herald published a lot of that, saying that Atachia says there's a whole dossier on him that when released will shock the nation.
Yeah, but why are you cautioning us?
No, I think the newspaper wrote that.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is that if you want to release it, just release it. I mean, advising us before you release, just release it. Because it's time for us to discuss. The point I'm making is that you had people say, because people are jubilating that he's... I mean, if the people who are jubilating at the police headquarters, are 7 policemen, they have to be punished.
You think so?
Oh, yes!
Why?
Because I don't even believe that Yohunu himself is happy with what happened. Because if you supervise this about your boss or your predecessor, it's only a matter of time.
It was spontaneous, actually.
That's why I'm saying that. So I'm saying that if there are 7 police, it is in discipline, in the police service.
To put it on social media, showing yourself happy.
He is the former IGP. But he remains a commissioner of police because you retire on your credentials. That's why, as a commissioner of police retire, you still maintain the protocols. So the people who did it blatantly, I'm not saying that they should clap for him, but I'm saying that to go to the seat of the government of the police headquarters and jump and
do a video.
Do you know what that means to the other younger police people?
Yeah.
What example are we serving? So if there are 7 police officers, then some leader must take action.
But what if they felt oppressed? Then
what I'm saying is that's why you are in the police. That's why you are not a PE master somewhere that you'll be jumping all around. What I'm saying that it is what I'm saying. How do you call it? Like the military. It's an institution of discipline.
It's got structure.
Yeah, it has structure.
So they shouldn't have gone there.
No, they shouldn't. And I am told that some of them are ex-policemen. How did they enter the police headquarters? Who gave them access? So I'm just saying that, yes, he is not perfect like all of us in leadership. Once you are head of police, your actions are open for everybody to see. And today, in today's world of social media, everything is real time. We as media are not happy with the way he engaged media. We are not happy because we are used to dealing with the police,
on a regular basis to update us on stories, all
now,
of that stuff.
if the police officers are not qualified in engaging media, he won't tell us. If he believes that he has to educate them, prepare them before they can start engaging media the way we see foreign police people engage media, he won't come and tell us. No, I'm saying that if.
Yes, yes, I know, but wait. There are, as you say, police and army, they have different professionals. So I know that there are lots of police who are professional communications people who have gone through. So I'll give an example. Freeman Tete is a policeman who went to GIJ, he's a communications guy. There are a few of them like that. So if the people who were speaking to the public were not the right people, I'm sure that within that range of talent, there should be people who could have done that work. I think for me, it was a policy of not granting interviews. And I'm not even sure it was related to competence. It was more the policy of we don't want to speak.
I started by saying that we in the media, we are not happy.
That's why I'm re-emphasizing it.
Yeah, and I'm only saying that.
Hold on. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that for me, the if point is what I don't want you to do.
No, because you see, what I'm saying is that he cannot always tell us his problems. But the fact that you went to school to study media doesn't mean you're a professional.
No, that's not the point. I'm saying that, you see, this is the same media that has been accused of sort of whitewashing Dan Parry's image. The media has been accused of giving Dan Parry a lot of coverage. So, for example, when something happens and he goes to, so maybe there's an accident, he usually personally goes. The media really gives him coverage, a lot of positive coverage. So, for me, it's contradictory that for the same media that gives you that level of coverage, there was no way of getting information except for brief statements which didn't give details. And it affected the quality of the work we did, particularly in the regions. Because those of us in Accra have access to the main police. But in the regions, it's very difficult because a lot of your reporters in the regions will follow up on a story. And usually the police confirms it for us. So my point is that on that point, dear,
we all agree that what he did not sit well with the media. Case closed. What I am saying is that in terms of the image of the police, where I sit, we have seen an improvement in the image of the police. In terms of security and safety on our streets, I see an upgrade. Even the look and feel of policing. Now, the man inherited a police that had a steeped culture of corruption, perceived corruption. You understand? It will not take 4 years to overturn that kind of thing. Okay? Previously, police people blatantly will come and judge you for money. Now, when they want to judge you for money, they check and see the system before. It means that something may be working somewhere. You understand? And I don't want to believe that Yohunu wasn't part of the leadership of the police. I don't want to believe that.
I think he was made deputy IGP, I think, the last...
No, I don't even want to go into the post because it is the president that made him. But he's a commissioner, which is the highest ranking police. And he was part of the executive team. You understand? So it will be interesting to see whether he will depart tangentially from how Dan Parry has been running the police. Now,
so what was his position before the deputy IGP position? Was he commissioner or something?
Oh yeah, he was commissioner in charge, director general in charge of something that it doesn't come immediately. But I think
he's much older than Dan Parry, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And Dan Parry is not yet 60.
No.
So the current government could have chosen to maintain him.
Oh yes, if they wanted to,
But they chose not to.
Yeah, for various reasons. Yeah.
So continue your point about the two things. So the image of the police, for you think generally the public sees an improvement.
Yes.
Is there an objective way of measuring crime outside of what is reported in the media? Because a lot of times, we will say, they
have.
All
the security institutions have the data.
What I'm trying to ask is whether we can find some data to show whether crime has actually reduced or is just the perception. Do you get my point? Go for a move. Because generally speaking, when it comes to perception, you can't legislate that. But when it comes to crime,
yes,
there should be
there's
an objective way of telling whether crime has come down or not.
They have scientific data from national security, all the elements of national security, they have it.
So, for example, will the president of the republic know whether crime has reduced or not?
The president gets daily briefing on all these things, so they know.
Okay,
they know, and that's why
you know why I'm pushing this question. Let me push
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm pushing this angle because there's a certain view also that whereas Dan Parry may have done a good job, there were pressures within the new security setup of government that he not be maintained. Now, that's my problem. If there's data to show that crime has indeed reduced, why will some of the security couples not be comfortable with working with him?
Yeah, because you see, the mettle of leadership at that level is both vertical and horizontal. Vertical in terms of pursuing the objects of the organization, horizontal in terms of dealing with the rank that your equals. Okay, you need to provide leadership for them, and a lot of them feel they deserve better recognition than you would have them feel. So, and maybe the approach to certain things, they may see it differently. And there are people down the ladder who also, if you like, coagulate towards certain commissioners for various reasons, ethnicity, working together before in different aspects of police, familiarity and all that. So they also build their pockets of support. And so I can understand why they will tell you that, oh, among the commissioners, he wasn't popular. But that should not be the only way of measuring
I was even talking about outside police in the overall security setup, because I mean, for me, listening to people who say that crime has reduced and generally that the image of the police has gone up, you would have thought that the government would think of keeping him.
No, because you see, that's only one way of measuring. For instance, we are told that he didn't have such a good relationship with the other heads of the security.
So cohesion is also an issue.
That's the
so he can be doing well, but if the cohesion is not there,
precisely,
it's better for a new team to come.
That's what we are told, but I mean, I don't know what the fact is. But so it may, the consideration may be. I mean, I don't think that President Mahama had a triumphant approach to removing the guy. You understand?
Let me give you another angle. There was another angle too, that in a way, the Kwesiani and Imani lawsuit probably forced the president's hand to remove him earlier. Now, it's a very perverse.
But the lawsuit was the last year lawsuit.
I'm coming. So the point was that judgment was to have been declared in May. All right. And the view among some people is that if the judgment goes in favor of the plaintiffs, then that stays the president's hand from choosing his own IGP. So that they feel like if the president did not take a decision now and May comes and the court says you cannot change your security heads, it means then that he's stuck with all the security heads, which is why he then decided to change all of them now, whilst he still has the power, even though the case was pending.
While that may be
so the
true.
case and probably rather triggered his exit, even though that case may have been done hoping that they will not be removed.
Bernard, while that may be true, I don't want to believe that the change was a knee-jerk reaction.
You don't think so?
No way.
You think
I mean, you don't struggle to get into power and let your head of police decision be a knee-jerk.
No, you're right. There's obviously something they knew
it's
already.
always in the works. You understand? I think that for me, contrary to what people are saying, I saw something from Professor Ajimendia saying that maybe he should have resigned to have a dignified exit. I completely disagree.
Do you know why you're saying that?
No, I disagree with the use of dignity.
No, you know
what is indignity about this?
No, it was because of the question was in relation to how some of the officers were rejoicing, because his point was that the guy has done such a good job that he didn't deserve this type of.
So that if he resigned, they wouldn't have rejoiced.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's his angle. So
and my angle is that there's nothing indignity about this.
Okay, go on.
If tomorrow Dampare goes international,
Yeah.
he will be hailed for the work he's done in Ghana.
Well, it depends on who you talk to. Remember the little thing he had with the British High Commissioner and the long letter he wrote and all of those things. So they are different.
No, what did he have? But the British High Commissioner was just a High Commissioner.
No, you don't get it. But I'm saying that they are different international communities. So when you say
you're a High Commissioner, you can't come and bullshit my IGP. No.
Fair enough. But the way he wrote the letter and the manner of the response, was it proportionate? Was it proportionate to the? Was it proportionate to the? Was it proportionate to the offense?
Because he knows things we don't know.
Yeah, but we can only see what is put out.
That's what I'm saying. That's so. Let's give him the High Commissioner. Don't come and tell me what to do with my IGP.
Okay, no. So, all right. Now I wanted to go somewhere else. Hey, last point. Last point. Last point. Again, it seems to me as though both NDC and MPP members were not happy with him, which is very strange. So let me give you an example. I've heard MPP members say that, Charlie, the way the police behaved during the election, they didn't like it. That's what some MPP people have said. All right. But then there are also people in NDC who didn't like Dampare and therefore were saying, Charlie, he has to go. Because in fact, some were even claiming that he's lobbying to stay, but he has to go. Now, I find that quite strange because, and I'm not talking about high echelons of the party, I'm talking about just ordinary members of the political party, but who are supporters, partisan supporters, not liking him. And I find that quite strange that the two leading political parties, some of their members were very unhappy with him.
Again, it's the point Samens makes about what you know as somebody who is an insider, right?
Mm-hmm.
As against what we see and feel as consumers of policing. So the biggest interest the MPP and NDC will have would have been the election.
Of course.
And how the election was carried out.
Uh-huh.
Most Ghanaians would tell you that they were satisfied with the level of policing they saw generally during the election. In fact, post the election, we've had a lot of people speak about how the policing style perhaps led to what we saw. In sometimes I even had cause to complain during the election when we were doing our coverage. I felt that perhaps they were a bit too passive in the approach, but it looked like part of the strategy was stay aloof. But that led to whatever things. But the point is, they had obviously outlined a strategy for the election, and they saw the election through. So when it comes to MPP, NDC, outside of the insiders, like those who deal with the police on a day-to-day basis, who have a certain expectation of what a police service is supposed to do for a party or a government, their expectation normally for me should not hold. Although most of the time that is what ends up becoming a key component of decision making when it comes to who becomes IGP or not. In the sense that what most of our political parties are looking for is regime security. Most of them. No, let's not MPP, NDC, all of them. When they come in, they're looking for regime security. But the citizens are not looking at regime security. The citizens are looking at a neutral police service. A police service that deals with everybody the same way. Irrespective of whether you're a high-ranking MPP member or you're a high-ranking NDC member or you are Godfrey Akuto Boafo walking by the roadside. We are supposed to be treated the same way. Okay. So most of the time, high-ranking police officers at the rank of IGP, most of the problems they get stem from their willingness or unwillingness to participate in regime security.
That's the problem with the government.
Yes. So either you are seen as our policeman.
I don't think we should take that thing seriously as a country.
What do you think? What do you mean?
They should allow them to do their work.
Yeah, but they won't.
No, Ramson said they should allow them to do their work. They should allow them to do their work.
In an ideal situation,
now, what IGP Dampare has done now, he has set a benchmark. And I pray for
the
my
next
friend
one.
Yonu. Because see, he was younger, he was all over the place. He brought a lot of reforms, and I'm talking about institutional reforms. And look, change management is painful in a bureaucratic organization. Change management is a Herculean thing. And so I am not surprised that we have all the mixed reactions that we are having. You understand? We can find time and go and pick item by item the kind of things that Dampare. We can do that tomorrow. The kind of things that Dampare tried to do with the police.
What has come out in terms of some of the criticism is that there were people who were special Dampare boys he was working with.
I can understand.
Outside the system. So, for example, they will say, if it wasn't for Dampare, will this young policeman be talking to me like this? Because he's perceived to be part of the new Dampare people.
That is wrong.
As against an established
system.
Yeah,
an established
the
person.
hierarchy.
Yes.
That's
So
the hierarchy.
so and because of his proximity to the IGP, will probably circumvent the rules and he'll go away with it.
Yeah.
That is bad.
But let me bring in some messages.
Please
Lots
do.
of them.
Lots of
Apiakusi
comments.
Adumako.
Yes.
He sent a message. He says, "Dear City team, it's often said that meaningful progress comes with its share of challenges. As someone not in law enforcement, I may not fully grasp the perspectives of those within the service, but I can draw some experiences that highlight the complexities of transformative leadership. During my time at KNUST under Vice Chancellor Professor Kwesi Andam, I witnessed a leader adored by students yet not universally embraced by faculty. His bold vision reshaped the university, introducing innovations like allowing top graduates to pursue direct PhDs, a move that stirred debate. Some faculty worried it might limit post-retirement opportunities, reflecting the tension between progress and tradition. Programs like petroleum engineering, launched before Ghana's oil discovery, alongside LLB law, business administration, communication engineering, and aeronautic engineering, underscored his foresight. KNUST standards today owe much to his legacy. Similarly, IGP Dampare stepped into a system with entrenched interests. Change inevitably creates both beneficiaries and detractors, as with any reform. Yet from a public perspective, his tenure has earned him recognition as a people's IGP, reflecting a commitment to broader societal change. Best regards, Apia Adumako. There are more messages here. I absolutely agree with Samez on the issue of indiscipline flow from Greta sends that through. Bernard, as you guys are talking about the new IGP and Dampare, I just met the new IGP's car on the Spintex Road at top speed with motor riders. This is so annoying. Dampare stayed in traffic, Must we all skid off the road because we are okay? Nanama is not happy.
This is the point he's making, that some of the things he did, even though they were symbolic, the public have begun to like it. So if you go back to business as usual, you will be seen as, because this idea of Dampare doesn't not using motorcade, it's something the public like, that they don't want the IGP to be speeding through traffic. But the tradition is that, IGP there, we are just moving. This idea of IGP going to the bereaved family, sitting there with media coverage and crying with them, it's not normal. But he's normalized it. So now if you come and you don't do it, it's like, you are not. So in a way, he's raised the bar, as you were saying. It's going to be a problem for the
Bernard, okay. Good morning,
why should it be a problem?
CBS. I wish to know if
because a lot of leaders are tradition. They don't follow change.
It's because of benchmarking. It's just benchmarking.
Good morning, Bernard. I wish to know if Dr. Dampare will continue serving as an officer, if he so wishes, as a commissioner, or once he's risen to the IGP rank, he's automatically retired. That's what it is. Good morning, Bernard.
So which is which?
No, so he's no longer an
Once
officer. He's
you are
retired.
promoted to IGP, straight to retirement.
But he can work in the security agency.
No, that will be a different appointment.
Yes,
it's not in continuation of his police service here.
Police visibility is one of Dr. Dampare's greatest achievements. No more jumping of red lights and reduced extortion at police checkpoints. The image of the police has changed greatly. I personally think he has set a new standard now. Uncle Citro sent that through. Yes, on the surface, the reputation of the police improved a bit during the time of Dr. Dampare. What I didn't appreciate in his tenure was the centralized communication structure of the police and the seemingly lackadaisical manner in which they treated some high-profile criminal investigations. Courage from Koforidua. Dampare was a reformist. In a part of the world, that style of leadership is not appreciated because we are comfortable with our corrupt ways of doing things. You didn't add your name. So, hi, Bernard. To me, the image of the police improved over the last 4 years. They are addressing the police visibility initiative with the motorbike bike, all that was impressive. The headquarters infrastructure and lighting serve brought change to that entire enclave and forced their neighbors to also up their game. Andy from Bastu Heritage Caravan. Hi, Andy. The image of the police has not changed much in terms of corruption. In Kumasi, the police openly take 10 cities from trotro drivers, especially Bekwai. And Kofanoti Teaching Hospital roundabout. Civilian brutality hasn't changed during demonstrations, and last minute securing of 11th hour injunction to stop groups from demonstration was not best. Sam Mensah from Kumasi. I think that in terms of the handling of protest and the arrest and all of that, a lot of people were not really happy about how the Dampare regime went about it. But Bernard, indeed, IGP Dampare was a hero in lifting the image of the service. However, he undermined too many personnel. Most people were sidelined in promotions. He set spies in almost all police stations. He was vindictive and autocratic. He also failed as a leader by disrespecting his police management board in decision-making police. Okay, Kwesi send this. The image of the head of the police institution has been significantly improved. The service itself, I'm not too sure. Truthfully, the police has not changed much. They still stop people unnecessarily to ask for bribes instead of directing traffic, even though they have become visible, etc. I think there is so much talk because people took a liking to him as a person. I like him too. Fifi from Fifi Tamaklos. And when I'm talking about police doing well, there's an officer who is always at the intersection when you're going to Gimpo on the left and Legon on the right. He's a correct man. He does his job very well. Bernard Dampare performed quite well. Administratively, he did well with innovative ideas and practices, provision of logistics and good administration procedures internally. Financially, he created much avenues for the police to increase their IGF. In terms of communications, he managed to employ a great communication strategy to create a good perception of the police to the general public. Now, on general management, even though he meant well for the unit, he could not manage senior officers and internal issues. Overall, he did his best and left a standard in certain sections which can be well developed. Fred Owari sent literally.
This sounds like Fred Owari.
Scorecard.
Oh no,
from airport.
Fred Owari Airport.
You mean Uncle Fred?
Yeah.
Oh no. He doesn't live at airport.
Okay.
He hasn't sent text messages.
Well, he lives at East Airport.
That's what I'm saying. That
but
sounds like the language sounds like Fred Owari.
No, but the action is not a Fred Owari action. No, he won't.
He hasn't sent messages like that.
No.
Good morning, Bernard. Could it also be the case that the officers were only celebrating the new IGP and not necessarily that they didn't like the former IGP? Were there similar jubilations when Dampare was appointed as IG? Kofi from Kaswa sent that. Hello, Citi. Maybe he was just a social media IGP. All his life was on social media, from buying Kofi Brookman to funerals. Kwame from Adenta. Good morning, Bernard. Please, on this police issue, play Popcorn's Can't Wait, and you will understand why the public don't really enjoy the company of the police. Thank you. My name is Atotu from Abokobi. Remember the comments of ACP Agojo and COP Mensah? Looks like Dampare messed up the police service. Good morning, Bernard. In recent times, when anyone posted criminal videos or anyone brandished weapons on social media, we all waited for them to be grabbed in a few days, and it was the new norm. I think IGP Dr. Dampare did well with these crimes and also generally updating the public on cases, crime issues and all. But like most things, if you get 20% wrong, all of your 80% is forgotten. Ivan from Ebri sent that. Hi, Citi. I don't really have an opinion on Dampare's legacy, but I think your team should create a poll on social media. That's up, actually. If you go to our Facebook, there is a poll where people are sharing their opinion. Let me get that very quickly.
So that you can vote. It will be good to see the public's view, but the question must be framed well.
Did former IGP George Akufu Dampare succeed in improving the public image of the Ghana Police Service?
I think that's a good question. Or how should I have ranked it? Okay. So public perception question.
Yeah.
Public perception question.
In fact, there are a lot of comments here too. I can bring you some.
Read some for us.
Some say yes, he did, but internally there were problems he should have paid attention to. This is Fred Hagan. Tina Agri says 200%. Gaucha Rich says 1000%. Daniel Vovonu says 101%.
Wow.
He did his best to some of us, but to others his best was not enough. Portia Coleman said he tried and did his best, just that he didn't get all the people to buy his actions because of corruption and more of that. Hello, Bernard. Dampare truly transformed the image of policing in Ghana, making it more attractive and significantly improving communications. I encourage you to visit the police website and see for yourself. The level of transparency is impressive. They have published footages of drivers violating road regulations, making it mandatory for corporates to report to the nearest police station. One remarkable aspect of his leadership was the level of openness regarding police services. You can even find information on how much it would cost to hire a police convoy, police band, and other services right on the website. This kind of transparency is unprecedented and demonstrates a commitment to accountability. One of the fundamental challenges in this country is a lack of discipline, and Dampare was deeply committed to addressing this issue. His leadership brought a sense of accountability and order that we desperately needed. It's remarkable how he tackled indiscipline head-on, setting a high standard for law enforcement. Divine Amenya, send her through.
All right, a few more comments coming through on the show. Let me just read a few for you and then we move on. Yeah, so quite a number of people are commenting on the Dampare matter. Aside from whatever perceived wrong committed by Dampare, my perception of the police service has improved considerably. This is John Day writing from Peki. And then, knowing Ghana police, the jubilation post Dampare tells me he must have been doing something right. This is from Theodore. And then, this one says, a lot of people who wanted Dampare gone, especially in the previous ruling party, were people who fell foul of the law and wanted favors he wouldn't yield to. Right? So that's another angle of the conversation about the Dampare perception. And then a couple more. Bernard, are policemen allegedly rejoicing over Dampare's exit representative of the police services sentiment? Because there is no manager, however competent, who will not have some of his staff jubilating over his exit. We should use empirical sources so the analysis of his tenure is objective. What we can't take away from Dampare is that he was very effective with his public branding. So it seems as if we need to get more information on general crime levels,
which is something that is very hard to get.
And well, let me talk to somebody who's been researching this. At least he will give us another angle to the discussion. Justice Tenkabe is a professor of criminology at the University of Cambridge. He's written copiously on police institution in Ghana. I'm not sure if he's written on Dampare's tenure yet, but Justice, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for talking to us on short notice. Having written and studied about the police institution for a long time, have you done any work within the tenure of Dampare, or have you any thoughts around his tenure? I think he's been in office for 4 years. Any more recent work on the Dampare era of policing?
Well, thank you for having me. I think it's a mix. The judgment has to be, one has to either be agnostic about it, because there's very little data that we are able to access to make any clear judgment. But I think, just speaking on something that you mentioned, which is the public image of the police. And if you look at the Afrobarometer survey results over the years, one of the really interesting items there is public trust in the police. And you can see especially the extreme views, those who said they have a lot of trust in the police. Since the survey started in 1999, that has been declining. And indeed, in 2023, it was only 7% of the public that said they had a lot of trust in the police. But last year, I think late last year, they published another round of results that had increased to 11%. So you're talking about a 23% or so recovery, which is the first time in the history of the survey that they've been doing. So on that front of the public image, in terms of the confidence, there seems to have been this significant change in the trajectory of things. But apart from that, in terms of crime rates, especially serious violence, we simply don't have the data to be able to make that assessment. So we would have to wait for that data to be available for us to make those judgments. Another area, of course, that we need to make an assessment is professionalism of the police. But again, here, it's difficult to have access to the data. One piece of data that we could consider would be, for example, complaints against police officers. Now, that becomes especially interesting in a context in which there is this, as I said, increase in public confidence in the police. So you would expect that those who have issues with the police will file complaints, and we can see what proportion of those complaints are upheld, how many officers are, as it were, convicted when they undergo disciplinary proceedings. Unfortunately, the data that we have between, I think the last round of data that I saw was for 2022. You can see that in 2020, the proportion of officers who were convicted, quote unquote, after disciplinary hearings was 17%. That dropped precipitously to 7% in 2021 and 7% in 2022. So there's an interesting discussion to be had as to what's happening in this area. Why such a sharp drop? We don't know. So that's another area that, again, data would allow us to do that. And finally, the thing about policing in a democracy is that you're looking at issues that, if you like, stand out for a democracy. And one of those issues is public order, protest. So how do police handle themselves when people are out on protest? And again, we can see some of the episodes of the police, rather than facilitating the protest, appear to rush to the courts to prevent people from protesting, which I think it's a minus. We also see in the area of media safety, because the safety of media personnel or journalists, it's actually a very interesting indicator of the quality of policing that you have, but also, of course, an interesting indicator of corruption in the political system. And again, we have seen a number of cases where journalists or media personnel have been attacked. What has been the outcome of these investigations? That's something that we need to be able to consider. And also public engagement with the police. I mean, the thing about democracy is that we are able to ask the authorities questions, and they are obliged to provide us civil answers. But when we centralize police communication, when we do not allow police officers to be questioned by, for example, the media, that will be quite the opposite of what you expect in a democracy. So those are some of the issues that we have to consider. And I think when we do that, it's not so much that we are able to say his tenure was, he did well or he didn't do well. It's just that we lack the data to be able to make that assessment. And so we can't simply say he did well without providing it.
So that's all well and good. And I take the point about needing data to establish proper outcomes. But I can say that generally, if you look at the interest in the role of IGP for media coverage, and then we just put out a poll, on our social media handle, and you are getting a lot of positive views around his tenure and how they see him. Should that count for something? That generally speaking, the public commentary on his tenure, even in the text messages I've read, generally seems to be more positive than previously. Because usually when we discuss, in fact, to be fair, when we discuss policing on this show, we rarely talk about the IGP as the main subject until this IGP. So usually when we talk about policing, people just complain about the police service, which they still do. But it looks like there's a certain positive image he has among the Ghanaian public. And my question to you is, to what extent should that count in the overall analysis?
Oh, I think it should count. I mean, as I said at the beginning, you have this improvement in public confidence in the police. So that's important for various reasons. Confidence is the lifeblood of police work. With confidence, people were able to approach the police if they are in trouble, or if the police need information to solve crimes, people will be able to do that. So that's an important issue. But it's not unusual to have public trust in an individual police officer at whatever level that is, but with that confidence not translating into, if you like, a judgment of the police as an organization. And I think what we need is not confidence that is linked or anchored to an individual per se, but reforms that are able to empower officers at the lower levels so that they can also generate that kind of confidence, not in themselves as individuals, but in the system as a whole. And I think that's where maybe there is a certain gap. But without question, confidence in the police is extremely important, if you like. It's vital for police work.
What do you make of the controversy around a court case over whether heads of security agencies should be changed by a sitting president, and the fact that while the matter is yet to be determined, this president has already made the changes? And again, you spoke about policing in a democracy. There's also a question of appointments. Should the president have waited for the matter to be heard, or do you think he's well within his right that until a new judicial position is espoused, he's well within his right to change his heads of security? Because he did his change for prisons, police, fire service, and also immigration. Any views on that?
I think it's, in a way, how you are appointed determines how you exit. And it's if you look at the appointment processes for our police chiefs, it is not one that you can really say is based on merit. That is not to say the individuals that are appointed might not be competent or anything like that. But we don't have a transparent process for appointing these individuals. It seems that some element of political consideration goes into these appointments. And in that sense, it becomes difficult to want to have the courts prevent the president from changing the police chief. Even in countries where the process is transparent, and you can be fairly confident that it is not partisan political consideration. So, for example, in England and Wales, you have all these police chief constables, about 43 of them across the country. The process is quite transparent in with the appointment. I mean, the most high profile of them is the Commissioner for the London Metropolitan Police. But even then, it's always very difficult for the police chief to remain in power if the mayor or number 10 Downing has reservations about that person. And what, of course, they tend to do is just to resign. They don't wait to be pushed out or anything like that. Once they realize that they no longer, and this is the interesting phrase that they tend to use, that they don't have the confidence of the political leader. They just leave. So policing is such a political issue. And when I say it's political, I don't mean like partisan politics. It's political in the sense of course, it's power that is used often against certain interests. And when those interests are high-profile interests, it raises all kinds of interesting questions. And I think even if, as most of us argue, we should move towards a process where the appointment is transparent, people apply just as we do with the civil service and so forth. It still doesn't mean, especially for the police, that we can guarantee somebody turning off office. I think that notion has to be thought through a little bit, and we cannot also guarantee that somehow a person wouldn't be pushed out because of these political considerations. But I think his turnout tells us one thing, which is that we can build confidence in the police if we take the deliberate efforts that he was trying, but those efforts need to be institutionalized. That I think will help a lot, but we also need in the democracy to have access to data that would allow us to judge the performance of the police at right from the district through divisional to regional and national levels.
Thank you, Professor Justice Tank Kebe, who is a professor of criminology at the University of Cambridge, but he writes copiously on policing, institutional policing in Ghana, where he's left us a very interesting place to say, look, with deliberate efforts, the image of police can improve, which most people believe has, but we need more information to look at the measurable outcomes of his tenure, which is fair. So we will find some, and then we will also continue the discussions, because somebody sent me a message whilst I was doing the interview that he can send me 30 reforms that Dampare.
Hey, 30?
Yes, somebody sent that to me in the course of the interview. He says,
okay,
good morning, Bernard.
Mention 3.
I have a confidential document on the Dampare saga. It's basically saying that the summary is that he implemented 30 policies within the service. I will share when I get the clearance. So I'm waiting for him to get the clearance.
The clearance from where?
No, but
but it's not to say that he succeeded in doing
yes.
it.
Yeah, but things he set out to do.
And you see, it will be good for public discourse to try and understand, because I asked you, what was he trying to do? So if we have a document that tells us the 30 things he was trying to do, then we can take it one by one. And then we can discuss, which will be very good for the discussion.
We have the document.
But I've seen something.
We have the document.
Okay, but then
another time we
yes,
can
another time. It's very important, because you see, the public needs to know what he's also trying to do. If the new because obviously the new IGP will be interested in continuing, hopefully.
Of course.
He has to, because if the perception of the man's work is good, it will be in his interest to continue those reforms whilst dealing with whatever internal problems that the reforms may have created. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So he can say, on the outside, this IGP had a good image. We can continue that. Yeah. There were some issues internally that I can deal with my experience. Yeah. So Mr. Yohuno can dually...
Bernard, the point you just made, I think that is the crux of the matter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yohuno's foremost duty is to repair the damage internally.
Correct.
And I mean, no chance in hell that we will say that there was no damage internally.
Mm-hmm.
We are saying that as public, we see an improvement in the image and we see certain right things being done
from outside.
But in the process of doing it, other things have been disabled within. At the commissioner level, deputy commissioner level, senior officer level.
Yes.
I mean, that one, there's no
morale and all those things.
We can't say that he was justified because we don't have all the information.
Correct.
And we can't also say that the officers are also justified. Some are very petty. Some of the issues are petty. Some of them are. I mean, I told you, somebody met me at a funeral and said, Obeko. And so I got interested. I got closer to the lady. So what's all right? The man there. I think corporal. The 2 is corporal, right? The 2 strikes is corporal. I don't know. Me sister, almost a red lights. Me pacho sa. Manyana. The young police at there. I mean, I mean, this is an extreme
one
reference,
person.
one person. But you know, these things, they don't come inside when we are processing the person's performance. Okay,
but
when it
you
becomes
admit
too
though that there could be definitely some internal issues that need
but
to
that's
be
the first
addressed.
point I made. You know, that's leadership. If you try to push, you are going to make people uncomfortable.
Correct.
Some of them have no justification. Some of them may be justified. So I think that Yohunu has a bigger task of bringing all these forces together. And this is heavy at the top, very heavy at the top.
And because he's experienced, he may be the best person to do this. He's not seen as an outsider. So sometimes you need...
It all depends on how he was also perceived. Whether he was perceived as a pro-Dampare or, you know... Because listen, Godfred, the animosity that was generated was very heated. And I'm saying it on authority
because both sides talk to you.
I have dealt with a few
both sides will come and complain.
Okay, so but whether they are justified, I don't have that.
But both of them feel strongly.
Exactly, they all feel very strongly.
So
and while we are here,
needs a
lot of them are calling.
So your mind is that Yohunu needs to be very tactful.
Exactly.
In bringing the morale of the police, because if they are divided, it can't help any of us.
Yes, I think IGP, I think you need Dr. Hopeson to help.
to do.
You need our Dr. Hopeson
to do what do you call it?
Do his
reconciliation.
Reconciliation.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
It's true.
I'm very serious. You should call Dr. Hopeson.
Yeah.
I'll forward the link.
Yeah, no, it's true because you
need Dr. Hopeson to come and run 3 months leadership course on conflict management and things in the police service. I'm telling you.
Because if that internal rift is not brought home, it will affect the way they work. Go for last point.
And last point for me, and this has to do more with Mr. Yohunu coming in. And again, for those at the end of the policing exercise, the general public, you see, what Mr. Yohunu also doesn't want the next few months to become is the police feeling that, oh, okay, we have been released from
freedom,
the shackles that were
freedom
upon us, and so we are
back
going
to
business as usual.
Correct.
Because the messages that you've read, whether you like it or not, the police has, the general public has come to understand that policing can become this.
Something new is happening in the police.
Exactly.
People are seeing
So Mr. Yohunu has a responsibility to build on
you shouldn't reverse that
and improve it.
Correct.
What we don't want is a situation where you are talking to a policeman who suddenly feels that, oh, okay, this is, now we are back. Yeah, back you. You're back. No. And no, Bernard, you see, you'll be surprised.
You talk like you know policemen a lot, but
no, because I deal with policemen.
Yeah, baby, you understand?
So, and it's something that Mr. Yohunu must be very, and his team must be very focused on in letting and it's a message that must be sent out immediately and must be sent out clearly that your dealings with the general public must improve or the standards must be maintained. Don't go back to what you think used to be what is standard policing. No.
Correct.
Yeah, because truth be told, Bernard, you are brave police force and
they are still suffering. And you are right that there's a certain restraint we see in police interaction with the public because of the so-called Dampare fear.
Yes.
So when they see you in a car, the way they even talk to you, they are not sure whether
exactly.
And that thing, you see, we shouldn't take it for granted.
shouldn't
take it for granted that the police are very conscious that because their IGP has a certain
Big
image,
Brother is watching.
They cannot misbehave by heart. You get it? So now when they are talking to you, they are looking over their shoulder because their IGP has a certain image that So it's a very key thing that the new IGP should.
You don't want to create a free for all.
He shouldn't take it for granted that he's going. We are going back to
this notion that the IGP must be liked. What is that?
But if you are going to be liked by who?
That's the point.
Yeah, that liked means by who?
Leadership is not a popularity contest.
Yeah, liked, but if you the work done.
But if you are going to be liked, it's better to be liked by the public than
by your own.
By your own are those you are working with. It's a difficult work.
No, but the point is, let's admit that there are factions in the police hierarchy. There are factions.
Oh yes.
It's become very clear from this past 3-4 years.
And so do we have factions in the military hierarchy. So long as our constitution allows the interventions by political leaders,
it's going to lead to those things.
In making choices, we are not seeing the end of this thing anytime soon. We are not seeing
the military one. We'll do it again. But today I have to take a commercial break.
So we live with it. But we hope for the best.
Thanks for your messages. More on this later. Don't forget, we also have a conversation with Kukudu Akwankra. We are in our third week of the on-air series of the Heritage Month. Big things happening as we discuss another round of history. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame. How are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where it go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame, Ash foam.
Mommy, that I feel you. Ash foam all the way.
From mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more. Don't waste time and visit any Ash foam showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ash foam. Feel it, know it.
Dear home, no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest payment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle change. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5043 or 020-477-5042. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. TNC supplied. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Let's clean soap. Clean.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It's a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Why settle for less when you can have it all? Get the KFC Burger Deal, the ultimate combo of flavor and value for just 55 Ghana cedis. With the KFC Burger Deal, you get your choice of a Zinger or Colonel Burger paired with a refreshing drink. Head to your nearest KFC today and grab the KFC Burger Deal for just 55 Ghana cedis. Big bites, small spend. Only at KFC. Remember, this offer is only available for a limited time only. KFC is finger licking good.
Afi for free. Provident Insurance Bema Quentway on Dessa. If you January equal see March 2025. What the insurance one some shop Provident Insurance and sa. Some will renew and now we are for Penya Chadia P. Emufua coupons and Provident Sovenes Papa B. And you will change it. One and WhatsApp assistant or buy and chat is here. 024-242-6396. Obeso to out over to me swakwa 15 branches. Ya to apeteka na mobia. Over to me suni brokers and agents in the mobia this was. And fear Janami and Sunday na Provident Insurance as some Ghana man some power Makonia Badi wa Wabambo. Massa special for you for Congo. Kaisan Shaka Crow.
With Provident, man, you're covered.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome back. It's 28 after 9. We're getting into our Heritage Honor series today. We are looking at the African Independent Churches Part 1. Samuel Atamensa sits with Kukudako Ankara. We're bringing you that shortly. In the meantime, when you buy anything, it has to be the very best. Diamond 42.5 outgrade cement, highest quality cement on the Ghanaian market. Since the year 2000, Diamond has put smiles on the faces of homeowners, block makers, supported numerous constructions with high quality brand that's rated green by the Environmental Protection Agency. We now have the affordable 32.5 outgrade, which means there's a good deal for everyone. That's great value for your pocket. Diamond Cement is your number one choice for all your building needs. Deal with us directly when you wish to buy. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Buepe. Some numbers to call 0244 313 368 0540 111 978. Diamond Cement is still as hard as a diamond. And Robert and Sons Optical Services new branch is now open in Roman Ridge inside the new Allied filling station and opposite the Ebony Washing Bay. We invite you, our cherished clients, to visit us and enjoy amazing discounts at our new Roman Ridge branch. Visit us at our Ultra Molding Roman Ridge branch for comprehensive eye care, unbeatable products and services for children and adults. We are open from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call these numbers 050-765-6876, 050-765-6876 or 0501-519-111 for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Roberts and Sons, seeing as believing. Now tell me, what can 55 Ghana cedis get you in this economy? At KFC, it gets you a full burger and a refreshing drink. Why settle for less when you can have it all? With KFC burger deal, you can choose between a spicy Zinger burger or the classic Kennel burger, paired with a cold drink to quench your thirst for only 55 Ghana cedis. Enjoy premium finger-licking goodness without breaking the bank. Won't pay where we'll pay and don't miss out. Head to your nearest KFC today. Grab this unbeatable deal. Big flavor, small price, only at KFC. Hurry, this offer is available for a limited time only. KFC, it's finger licking good. So let's jump into that big conversation on our Heritage On Air series, the African Independent Churches, Part 1. Saman sits with Kweku Dako Ankara. Enjoy.
Hello, it's good to be with you. It's the season of celebrating our culture, our history, and also recognizing who we are as a people. It's the Heritage Month. Now, on this Heritage Month, we want to delve into some aspects of our religious lives, and we are talking about the independent African churches and how they also spread out in Ghana. We've had churches like the Nigerian Church, the Christ Apostolic Church. We have the Divine Healers Churches, the African Tabernacle churches, the one that we call Odifo and Cancer and all. There are several of them. We want to try and put the puzzle together and see whether we can close the gaps which one came from where, who led what, when it was done, and all those. Now, for this one, I'm inviting you to come along as we tell the story about the independent African churches in Ghana. This is Channel 1 TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Samuel Atamensa, and this is a special program for our Heritage Month. With me to discuss this interesting topic is our friend, our brother, Kweku Daku Ankra. Kweku, welcome.
Thank you.
You're a doctor, right? Or
no, not yet.
You're not yet. You're in a PhD program.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in history or what?
Yeah, history.
Oh, but your
African studies.
Oh, okay, African studies. But your first, second degree, history?
No, my master's is African studies.
African studies.
History option.
But first degree was in law, right?
Journalism, and I also have law.
Law.
LLB.
LLB. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So we'll see how it goes. So you call it African independent churches, right?
Yeah.
And how is that different from the Orthodox churches?
Yeah, so the African independent churches were authentically African movement.
All right.
That was a sort of a call to return to nativity, which was a movement that was grown out of the Aborigines Right Protection Society. Aborigines Right Protection Society at one time, there was too much Europeanization of ideas, of culture, even the way people dress. You see Africans wearing bow ties, three-piece coats, suits and so on. So
but those are your people, the fancy people.
So that was for the educated elite. So the educated elite themselves realized that this is also sinking deep into the academic curriculum as well as the church. And then there was the need to Africanize. So as a result, they formed a movement called Gonfanti movement.
What?
Gonfanti movement.
Gonfanti
movement. It means the person has gone to Gonfanti way.
Oh, I see.
It is a return to nativity.
Oh, I see.
And it has come out as a result of an episode that happened within the Fanti Society, where Reverend Philip Kwaku, who was brought by the Church Missionary Society, Society for Propagation of Gospel, of the Anglican Church.
So he was brought back into Ghana,
him,
right?
Yes, to come and spread the gospel. When he came, he was actually against things that are local, fetishism, the way people were worshiping in their traditional African ways. He talked about how it was wrong and tried to win souls for Christ.
All right.
In so doing, one time he got sick. And when he got sick,
that's
all
Philip
the prayers,
Philip
Kweku himself, he got sick, all the prayers and things that went on, he couldn't heal. So he went to a local herbalist, and the herbalist gave some medication, and then he got healed. So the people say he has gone fanti way.
Oh, I see.
So out of this episode, they created a movement that there's something good in nativity. So they formed the Gonfanti movement within the Aborigines Right Protection Society.
All right.
And as a result, they call it Gonfanti, or the Return to Nativity movement.
Oh, wow.
And so they were interested in teaching people how to wear the African dress, how to speak their African languages, and writing about their African stories. So within that period, people were told to write about themselves. So Saba, for example,
that's John Mensah
Saba, for example, will go into the native laws and try to codify them by writing the Fanti customary law, which today is a #1 handbook when we are talking about the customary law in Ghana. And it is used at the law school.
By John Mensah
Saba. John Mensah Saba, the Fanti customary law. He will go and also write about the Fanti National Constitution, which talk about the history of the Gold Coast as well as the legal development that took place. J.E. Kesley Hayford will also move on to write about Gold Coast native institutions. He was writing about the institutions of chieftaincy and how democratic they were, and then plead with the colonial administration to rule in tandem with the educated elite and the chiefs, which formed the basis of what we called the indirect rule. So he was bringing how the educated elite could become part of the indigenous chieftaincy or political structure to be used for governance. Then you have Reverend J.B. Anaman, at that time also writing about the Gold Coast history, the history of the Gold Coast, and then adding the Gold Coast Almanac, talking about the history of the people from that time on.
Okay.
So this
Anaman is a fancy man.
It's a fancy man.
But he was originally with one of the Orthodox churches.
He was a Methodist Reverend minister. So as I'm saying, when we get to his side, we will add to it.
Okay,
so this Anaman and others, they came together, and the idea of Africanization was brought to the church. And this took place at Anomabo.
Which year? You remember the year?
Yes, in the late 1940s, 1960s. Within the 1960s, what happened was that there was idea what we call radical Methodism or radical Christianism, where the people were trying to introduce Africanization, the ideas into the Methodist Church. This led to some sort of dissent, that people who support the European way of doing things and people who supported introducing African way of doing things, for example, they wanted to come out with their own African songs, not European hymns. And then also introduce African instruments into the way of worship, which the church then has described as fetishism. And so must not be
our kind of drums and our kind of maracas and all those things.
And even the clapping of hand was seen as a sort of fetishism. Because they see this being done by the Akonfu and Abosomofu in their various shrines and community. And so introducing that kind of thing into the church worship was deemed as demonic, and so therefore they were not interested. But people like Anaman, people like Citi Hayford, and the members of the Gonfanti movement begin to fight against that way of practice, that European way is not an African way, and then Africans have their own way of also worshiping God. So Anaman, for instance, will come out and write the first Ebibinyum, which is Yanananum, which many people know.
Oh, this same song,
yes.
So this came from Anaman.
Anaman in 1888, what we call Nanam. And he was actually using it to talk about how the Fanti Obidan, where the deity of the Boban Fanti, what we call Nananumpo, and how the Akonfu used tricks, and then it was later destroyed, and then the word of God was spread by Thomas Birch Freeman around that time. And so he wrote the Nanam to talk about the fact that the Africans already knew about God. Even though they worship deity, they knew the existence of God in their African understanding or the worldview. So that is what happened. But now, as you said, we are on the street of Polygonal. And one of the later AICs or African Independence Churches is
Divine Healers
the
Church.
Divine Healers Church. So Divine Healers Church was started by a man called Gilbert Lawson. Gilbert Lawson or Gilbert Abro Lawson. That is his full name.
We used to call him Brother Lawson.
Lawson. So he was born in 4th November 1908 in Polygonal here. And then he started his schooling in a government boys' school. And then he was a member of the Anglican Church.
Oh, I see.
So while he was a member of Anglican Church,
he himself was a member of the Anglican Church
originally. And then while he was in Anglican Church, he also took after school. When he reached standard 4, his brother died. His brother Albert, who was taking care of him. So he moved to stay with his other cousin called James Myers. So while with James Myers, he completed his school and then got a job at the Gold Coast Post and Telecommunication Organization.
That's a post office,
Accra Post Office.
Near Watu.
Near Watu. So while he was there, one day there was a sort of what we call the rally or a crusade at Galmanches Palace by Reverend James White.
That's Manchagbona.
Yes.
That's Jamestown, Manchester Palace.
So he went for that crusade, which was then organized by Latter Rain movement, which was coming from New York in United States. And the Reverend who was leading was Dr. James White. And during the crusade, the Spirit of God actually took him into trance. And according to the story, he saw the glory of God. And as a result, he was baptized and immersed in the sea, which is the sea at next door. And afterwards, he was baptized into the Apostolic Church.
Oh, he was the Apostolic Church.
Yes,
that's the Apostolic Church that we know.
Yes, the original Apostolic Church, and which came from Bradford in UK.
Bradford, Northern England.
Northern England. So while he was he had opportunity of coming into contact with James McKeown.
Oh, McKeown, who was also a leading member of the Apostolic Church at the time.
So with McKeown, they moved around and started organizing missionary activities and praying. While he was moving on, later on, he also went for a crusade at Teshi. It was at Teshi crusade of the Apostolic Church that his eyes opened, and for the first time, he saw Jesus Christ face to face, and his life changed. And when his life changed, he decided to go into full-time ministry by opening his first prayer center.
We are still talking about Brother Lawson. Brother Lawson of the Divine Healers Church. Yeah.
So he opened his first prayer center, which he called the Divine Healers Temple, which was then at Insawam.
Oh, I see.
So when he started with it and his activity, the way they were going about their things with Africanist idea, singing, clapping, using banjo strings and other African instruments to pray, the church actually had some divisions between them.
Oh, really?
And as a result, he moved out and then founded the Lord is There Temple.
Wow.
In 1954.
Oh.
So from Divine Healers Temple, which was closed down as a result of the differences between him and the Apostolic Church, he founded the Lord is There Temple.
So let me ask, while he started the Divine Healers Temple, he was still a member of the Apostolic Church?
He was still a member of Apostolic Church.
And McKeown was still a member?
And McKeown was still a member when he moved out to find the Lord is There Temple.
The Lord is There Temple.
With the Lord is There Temple, by 1955, the church has become very big, and then he moved on to become the Divine Healers Church.
Okay.
And then in the same 55, he came out with a magazine, the Divine Healers Magazine.
As in print magazine?
As in print magazine, which is the first Christian magazine in this country.
Oh, wow.
Where the people, all the prayers and miracles that he has offered to people, write their confessions, people write the miracles they have received from him into the church, and then he made a brochure of it, about 24 in number, between 1966 and 1967, where he came out to say that his church have about 190,000 membership
in Ghana,
with the capital at Accra, Kolugono, where we stand here today, with some at Mamprobi, some at Accra New Town, Tama, Adafo, in
Latebi. This whole area had Divine Healers Church all over the place, all the way to Kanishi and
Of course. So with this authority, it is one said that he predicted on the birth of the Gamanche at the time, and the time he would die. And he lived to see that all those prophecies that he gave came to pass. So people call him the prophet or the man for the Gadambe society as a result of that. And again, this man has a unique way of actually doing his miracles. He used handkerchiefs. And
so did he introduce this handkerchief thing?
Yes, so he was the first to use the handkerchiefs, and the handkerchiefs he gives to members. So wherever you are suffering from any ailment, you use it, the handkerchief you touch at the place, or you wipe wherever it is, there's an infection or anything is affecting you, and it will go away. And he also have holy water. That holy water he springs on you, and when it springs on you,
and it is believed that you get healed.
You get the healing.
Okay, so people, we are still celebrating our Heritage Month here on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM if you are listening on radio. My name is Samuel Atamensa, and the voice you hear is Ni Dako Ankra. Now we can safely call him a historian. He puts a lot of these stories in the right perspective. We will take a short break. When we come back, we will let you see what has become of the Brother Lawson's Divine Healers Church. Now, if you grew up in the 70s and in the 80s, you won't be stranger to Brother Lawson, where in this entire area we used to refer to them as Yesu Bami. We'll be right back.
When it comes to the miraculous, the healing ministry, only few in this country that have walked that path. People like Brother Lawson, divine healers, Yesu Bami. Some of you were young, but there was nothing that came before him in Yesu Bami.
And across the world, there were men who were raised. In fact, in Ghana, we had somebody who was called Brother Lawson, the founder of Divine Healers Church. Brother Lawson was so anointed. They said when you were going to his house, there was a palm tree or coconut tree where he used to go and pray. And as he prayed, he would hold the coconut tree and be praying. And you know, if you were going to his house and you were sick and you touched the coconut tree, you got your healing.
Welcome back. This is the Heritage Month, and on this episode we are talking about African independent churches and how they all emerged and where they are now. And I have Ni Dakun Ankra or Kweku Dakun Ankra. Is your Ni Dakun Gan or Fanti or Ekrapim?
It's Gan.
It's Gan. Of course, every leader who must have come from Utumlo, where my mother comes from as well. So anyway, Soni, you are talking about the Divine Healers Church. In fact, we are actually shooting from the headquarters where it all started of the Divine Healers Church. I mean, when we were kids, it was just a huge. It was big. It looked so big, but now, Charlie, we all grow. So I think, you know, but I think there's some remnant of the roofing, the old structure there that we can go and see. So, Ni, tell us more about this. Yeah, let's go.
This place was donated by one Hanson to the Reverend.
Oh, I see.
So,
the facility.
The facility. So
was donated.
So he had this church here. And then he became so renowned. He became so renowned that Reverend Duplex C of United States came to visit him. You have Nancy Porter also visiting him here to see how his miracles were going on. We have the famous Nigerian evangelist and then preacher, Bishop Benson Idahosa.
Oh, Idahosa too
also
came here?
coming to meet him.
They came here.
Idahosa came
so
here.
So Duplexi was here. Porter was here.
Porter was here.
And then
Benson Idahosa was here.
Which year would this be? Because Idahosa later moved to live in Ghana.
Yes, in the 1970s.
That must be 60s.
60s and 70s.
Yeah, must be 60s. Yes.
And then also we have Billy Graham also coming to visit him.
You don't say.
With A.A. Allen, where they had interviews.
No, you are moving too fast, my brother. Charlie, you've defined the whole space. So you had Benson Idahosa from Benin City.
Yeah.
That's Church of God Missions International.
Yeah.
He came here. A.A. Allen was a major authority in this evangelical movement in the U.S. He also came here.
He also came here to visit him.
And did you say Billy Graham?
Billy Graham.
Oh, no, my days.
And the two of them all had joint interviews with him.
Oh, wow.
About the nature of the African independent churches, miracles, and the ideas about
Billy
God.
Graham came here, so if I be careful, he came here.
So so he was really a famous man.
Oh yeah,
that really made his name.
Yes,
and that shows you why people like Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Ajina Sari, and Ampia Kofi's always touting the name of Brother Lawson because he is a man whom their own mentor actually had a sort of spiritual interactions with to
which
understand.
Which is Benson Idahosa.
Yeah. So it shows you how the man actually grew his church. And there is a way he managed his church.
Tell me.
In his church, he was the leader. And then he had a personal staff, which constitutes Helena, I've forgotten the name, and then Mrs. Gifty Atram, who were the two people who were composing his staff.
Okay.
And then he had the inner circle. The inner circle consisted of people who were spiritually gifted. and they pray all the time for the church. So the inner circle, if you are not spiritually active, you could not be part of it.
So these were people who organized continuous prayer meetings.
Meetings all the time.
Because you know, back in the day, any time like this time, by the time you pass here, the whole street is full of people, and there was constant prayer going on here.
Yeah. Particularly on Fridays.
Oh, Fridays was
their number one day where everybody comes and meet. And with this, he was able to cure many sicknesses. He was able to heal a lot of people. He was also able to spread. But their form of evangelism was different. Unlike many churches that have evangelical priests and also certain clergy who goes around to spread the gospel, they believe that people whom they have healed will spread the gospel.
Oh, okay.
And then the new convent that also came, whom they feel are anointed with the glory of God, will also go and spread.
Okay.
So the church leaders never went out, but this was done by the church members themselves.
Okay. All right.
And so he moved this church, and this church grew to become one of the biggest churches of his time.
Yeah.
Until he himself grew very old. By 1988, he was so weak, he could not do certain things. So Reverend Afra Ama was made to head the church. And upon his death in 1989, the church came out with a new rules and regulation that you can hold position for 5 years. And then when you reach the age of 65, you are retired. Unfortunately, some people reach that age and they refuse to retire. And this led to a sort of legal tussle in the church, which affected the development of the church.
The soul is willing, but the body is not willing.
Yes, so that is how this wonderful church finally went down from 8 glorious days to become what we are seeing today.
Wow. So this will be the story of Brother Lawson's Divine Healers Church, and there were others, several of them. I am familiar with this because I used to be in the area myself, not in Kolegon, but Kolebu, Gamashi, and Brother Lawson's church was a very, very popular one, on the lips of many people. And it was also a reference point in the whole concept of Pentecostalism, where people will pray in tongues, people will do prayer and fasting, they call it dry fasting, and those people were very tough spiritually, and it's also influenced the later emergence of the faith movement, which we also call charismatic movement. But you also mentioned Reverend Anaman and the Negrian Church. Tell me about that.
So Reverend Anaman was born in 1866. His own father at Anamabu, his own father was Reverend Isaac Anaman, who was a conformist Wesleyan minister.
Wow.
I say conformist because he didn't believe, because of the Gonfanti movement, people who have English names have started changing their names back to African names.
Oh, wow.
So his name Anaman is what Infanti we call Anamoa. So that is how the name came from. So his son, Jacob, who had become an intellectual, were also the people who were fighting that people should change their name from its Anglicization to its Fanti form. So people called Taylor changed their name to Tavia. People called Dixon who changed their name to Danso, and so many names.
Wow.
I can give a list of Fanti names that had become Anglicized. They changed them. Hayford is from Efua, so Hayford became Efua. Efua, Fog, and it became Hayford. So people were then changing their names in order
so they
to
picked
mean
the English
that
names.
sort of thing. And Reverend Isaac Anaman was against the fact that if people have changed their name to whatever it is, particularly for the Euro-Africans or what others call mulattoes, that the mulattoes
have caste.
So those called the Minows, the Vanderpoys, and so should maintain their name because their ancestors were Europeans and that their names should not be changed back to African. So his son, growing up under his father, was able to, he was schooled at Anamabu, Methodist school at Anamabu, and then he used advantage of his father's friendship with other reverend ministers like Richard Russell and then Reverend William Canal, who was with Infantepium. And he was able to learn Greek, Latin, Hebrew, mathematics, theology.
They taught him, or he studied on his own?
He studied on his own with these reverend ministers, and he became very good in the language.
With Latin?
With Latin,
with Greek language?
And Hebrew. And he became an authoritative linguist in the language.
Whoa.
Later, he was ordained by the church.
That's the Methodist
the
Church?
Methodist Church, and he became a Methodist minister. He went on to be ordained, to be initiated also into Freemasonry. And later on,
Freemasonry?
Yes, Freemasonry at the time. And then he also went on to become the editor of the Methodist newspaper, the Methodist Times. And he edited it as one of the champions of the Gonfanti movement. And he was one of the people who made it possible for the Fanti language to be translated. He himself wrote with Reverend Canal the first Fanti dictionary.
Wow.
And then he also came with the Fanti spelling grammar. He went on to write about the Nzema grammar and other languages so that people can work within their language. But one of the things he did within the church was to introduce singing bands.
Yeah, singing band, the way we know.
Singing bands, so where they use the local drums, local musics, and what
and this is within the Methodist Church.
Within the Methodist Church. And he took his time to also translate the English version of the hymns into Fanti. And then he wrote his own versions of the Ebibinyum. The first one was Fanti Tete Njum, and then Nanan, which he wrote.
Which was the one you
The one
Nananum.
Yes.
Nayenze Yehovah.
And then he went on to write Ebibinyum within it. However, because of a singing band and the way they were singing in native language, which the Europeans didn't understand, they tagged it as fetishism. And that he had.
And the Europeans at the time were controlling the Methodist
church. And so he had a sort of confrontation between them. And as a result, in 1907, he walked out of the Methodist Church and founded Negration Episcopal Church. Negration means Negroes Church in 1907. And then he introduced the use of African language. And he stated in his church mission in 1907 that this church, everything is done in Fanti language, pure and simple, unquote. So with that, he introduced the Impinti, the Azwa, the Adenkum, and all that sort of singing.
I'm sure that attracted a lot of Fantis.
Yes, and that really attracted a lot of Fantis in the church. And as a result of what he did, James Mark Christian Hayford also moved out of the Methodist Church to found the Gold Coast Baptist Church to support what he was doing. And this
still in the spirit of the Gonfanti movement.
And this sort of thing made them one of the people to open the floodgate for the African independent churches.
And that was Kokudako Ankara with Samuel Atames with our own series, Heritage on series. Thank you so much for doing the listening. My name is Caleb Kuda. Bernardino Kokuavle was here with Godfred Akotobua for Fred Teteja Bano. And the entire team helped with production. It's top of the hour. Hawa Idrisu is here. Hawa Idrisu Mustafa, good morning, Hawa.
Good morning, Caleb. In the news, the Office of the Special Prosecutor